Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughened him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case.
Dati mihi Anglican for I didn't ask you to interrupt me.
Scratch all that. Oh, that was terrible. I apologize.
Good Monday morning! Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. Oh my goodness, it is a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day. Everyone, hopefully your weekend was fantastic. No, it's almost like we did something awesome last week that just made it be a wonderful weekend. Oh wait, we did. Thank you so much to everybody. Oh my goodness. Greener says, of all days not to wear my Sarah Boone shirt, it's right there. I might wear it. I'm wearing my crisis cleanup shirt because I spent the weekend taking calls on crisis cleanup and talking to some amazing people going through some crazy hard stuff. Never expected to have hurricane flooding at 2,300 feet in the mountains, 300 miles from the ocean, but it happened. All right, welcome. We have amazing fun stuff to do today. The first of which is to thank amazing people like Corey. Oh man, I thought I timed that perfectly so it would just pop up on screen, but no, I forgot to set everything up. Corey, wait for it. Pretend I did this perfectly without a segue that completely broke rhythm. Okay, connect. Now it's connected. Like Corey, people like Corey. That's where it was. Got a hair on my microphone that just can't be there. It's going to tickle me. And it's adjusted weird. What happened there? Okay, well, I fix everything. Go to the switcher. Why is it not? All right. Well, we're gonna get things fixed a little bit. Upstream here. It's a Luma mask. I need to add to the top. No. That's me. Wait. What did I just do? I just broke everything. For some reason, I'm off the screen when I should be on. Weird. Okay. 4 needs to be top. There we go. That's all. No. Grr. Make this full screen. That's all I want, and it's not working. Okay, I'll have to adjust a couple things, and I don't know where I've gone. Upstream here 1 is me on air. Nope. 1 is going to be DVE. There, I'm back. I found myself. All right, let's just say this, Corey. You were first in chat today. I don't know why I decided to break everything this morning, but I did. So we're going to leave it just like this for a second. I'll fix the line in just a minute. Everyone's standing around. That's because I broke things as well. It's one of those days. Believe it or not, I'm super, super excited about today. We have things happening, some of which I don't know if I can tell you yet. We've got our fingers crossed that we're going to hear updates at some point from Haley and Andrea. And it might even be through court. I know they were supposed to be out like 10, 15 days. They got notice that they're supposed to be back in court here today. I don't know if we're going to see that. We're hopeful to see it, but there have been developments which are super, super exciting. All right. While we're on this pace of doing nothing appropriately right, Corey. Oh man, did the seats work? Yeah, the seats are working, I think now. Okay. There we go. Corey, first in chat this morning. Thank you, my friend. You win the internet. We're going to sentence you with internet ownership as punishment for you being first in chat. You know the drill. If this is your first offense, which I'm not sure, it may be. It might be a rough day for you. Just fix everything internet-related worldwide, and we'll all be happy. That's all it is. It's really quite simple. That's basically, it's a one-page standard operating procedure guide.
Someone with more experience.
You're going to do great, Corey. Thank you very much. Catherine, welcome to the gallery. 4 months of support there. Kim R, 16 months. Yay, Kim. Thank you so much. Britta Aller, 17 months is another fantastic month, which is with this fantastic community. There's no better place to watch trials or to court hop. We have today on the schedule down there in Judge Kranick's court, Sarah Boone jury should be getting picked. I say should be because on Florida's schedule, and when I say Florida, I mean everything except for the Panhandle, the entire peninsula of Florida, it's hurricane evacuation week now. Because unbeknownst to everybody else, there is a new witness showing up on Sarah Boone's case, and the name is Milton. Milton will be the new. I'm not sure if it's a witness, but he's going to be there. He's going to be there for court, and it's already a named hurricane coming straight across. It's like bowling a strike for Florida is what it's doing. It's coming straight across the Gulf, going from sort of from west to east. It's going from east to further east. How about that? Depends where you are, right? It's going from west to east across Florida. I said across with a T on the end, and I apologize for that. Please forgive me, red pen. And it's pretty much going to catch the entire thing. The entire thing. It's going to be crazy, and it's going to cause problems for court, maybe even for jury selection, which could put us out as much as another week. Because this is going to be, I don't know, a Cat 3, maybe. Could be more, could be a little less.
I was kicked back, taking it easy.
So we'll see what happens here. Court is closed Wednesday, potentially longer. Potential jurors there now, so stay on the docket. Thank you very much for that. They're not televising jury selection, so there's nothing to see from Sarah Boone's court today. But let me do this. Before we go too far, we're going to sing happy birthday to the wonderful people who are celebrating their birthday today, and that is Ashley, Chandra, Christine, Hannah, Justin, Crazy Low, Corey, Clyde, Terry. Oh, Terry R. I thought there was a more. But Ashley, Chandra, Christine, Hannah, Justin, Crazy Low, Corey, Clyde, and Terry R. If we can say that in one verse, I think that would be a new record. It helps that there are lots of short names. So
what is the next search?
Whoa. What was the next search? The next search, well, she found out. That's what it was. Join with me in singing. This is the largest birthday sing-along, I think, ever, because it really is from around the world. People joining in song, all uniting their voices at once, wherever they may be, even in the carpool, in the back seat of the carpool, in the cubicle in the office, in the front room in the home, your kitchen table, in line at the grocery store. Everyone is singing, so if you can hear my voice, please join with me in singing or dancing if you know the routine. But you have to practice because it's a unison thing.
Is that correct?
All right, warm up with me if you will. La 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 la. Excellent. It's going to be a good one today. All right, stand up, deep breath, blend your voices with those of your neighbors, project your voice to the back of the room as we celebrate this wonderful, wonderful occasion. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Ashley, Sean, Christine, Hannah, Justin, Crazy, Lacorian, Clyde, and Terry R. Happy birthday to you. I threw an extra and in there, and it messed me up. I need every space for syllable I can get. Ashley, Chandra, Christine, Hannah, Justin, Crazy Low, Corey, Clyde, and Terry R. Happy birthday. I hope this day is the specialist of all special birthdays. I realize there are a million places you could be, a million people you could be celebrating with, but you've chosen to be here with us. And that is just awesome. That is just awesome. Thank you so much. Hopefully we can make your day just a little bit specialer. Wait, I just blacked back in. It's the storm named Milton. Yes, Milton is the name of the storm that is bowling for Boone today. Oh no, Miss Beezy. Okay, after this interlude, we'll do one more verse. We've got Miss Beezy as well. We're going to go ahead and do a second verse with one person. It's all right. We can do this. Okay, deep breath. Dancers, keep going. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Two people. Happy birthday, Miss Beezy and Joe. Happy birthday to you. I think Joe had a birthday. Happy birthday, Tiffany Marie Westwald. I think it's Westwald. Matthias, thank you. Matthias, I'm sorry. I'm going to call you Matthias today. I don't know why. Tiffany, happy birthday to you. I've realized we're running out of song, and there are some more names coming in. We sang Joe as well. Michaela's like, my legs are burning. These high kicks. The high kicks, they've got to stop. Happy birthday, Tiffany. I'm here for the baritone, says Nikki. All right. Now I need my inhaler. Oh, well, my Aunt Dot has a birthday today. Bite me. Happy birthday to your Aunt Dot as well. To all those who have a birthday today, please consider yourself sung to. The most important thing is, as we do the drum solo, that you get your free pancakes at Denny's, IHOP, Village Inn, any other breakfast establishment that serves pancakes. They should be free on your birthday. And take it up with the manager if they don't do that, because that should be a thing if it's not wherever you are. Happy birthday to all. Lots of birthdays. All right. I am watching with bated breath to see if Judge Simpson goes live because I got a text this morning from Andrea that Thursday's Sarah Boone's birthday. Yes. That is awesome. And I don't want to. I want you guys to see it as it happens. Does that make sense? It is basically of the same good news that we saw from this community on Friday, and it's bigger. It's just awesome. It's good. It's that there are good people in the world. So I'm looking frantically to see if Simpson is live yet, which he is not. I don't want to miss a moment of it. Okay, it's scheduled. I think they're scheduled for half an hour. In half an hour. Stop teasing us, says Robin. I don't know, because I've heard what Andrea's said, and Andrea's heard something, and I don't know how it's going to happen. The huge thing for this community is, yes, 25K. Thank you, one and all, who was able to support, even if you just shared it. Because this is the funny thing. Some people are saying, I feel so bad, I'm not able to donate, or I can't help, and I just don't. My own financial situation is extremely desperate, and I can't help. One person sharing this with a friend, or sharing it with somebody else. Look what Laura Owens did. Laura Owens shared this with me, and I shared it again. If Laura had not talked to one person and said, hey, you need to hear this story, it wouldn't have done what it did. And you guys, as you started sharing this with your on Facebook pages and on social media, and just hitting the like button so the YouTube algorithm would pick it up, it spread and spread and spread, and it reached enough people that we were able to raise $25,000 in the larger community, not just our own, with that GoFundMe, and that is just amazing. Laura Owens is the MVP. But when you think of yeah, but what did I do? I just clicked the share button. That's what Laura did. She clicked the share button. In her case, you got to see the results. In your case, you might not ever know exactly the effect it had, but one person makes a huge difference. So big shout out to Laura. Thank you so much for queuing us on to this. All right. Let's see. You want to talk? Yeah. That might be a problem. Okay. All right. How's the roof? Tomorrow. It's always tomorrow, but tomorrow is actually the tomorrow they've scheduled. So tomorrow should be the roof fixing. All right. Hey, Jen. Hang on 1 second. I know this is not fair of me, but I'm going to tell her what the news is, but I'm going to mute it so you guys won't see. What? I know, is that mean of me? But she has to leave. Hang on 1 second. You guys will be here. Just 1 second.
Shame on you, sir.
And so we're waiting for court. I think that's the news that he's going to share. Awesome. Anyway, all right, you object.
They don't know that news. You haven't told them.
I haven't told them. I think I mute. Did I mute you?
When are we going to break for lunch, Judge? I object.
I want you guys to hear it as it happens. That. I wasn't muted. Okay, I'm sorry. You guys all know. You heard everything. All right. So now you know. Well, we won't talk about it anymore.
Squirrel.
I seriously wasn't muted? Yes, I was. Okay. You guys are driving me nuts. I want to show you something else really quickly. Let's turn that off for just a second. Shrink this down, and we'll go over here.
If they didn't, I would lose my mind.
I would lose my mind as well. Okay. All right. I've been careful to not show anything that I shouldn't. Let me refresh this really quickly. But let's jump over here. I'm wearing the crisis cleanup shirt because I was working on that over the weekend, and I wanted to show you guys the impact. This is just Hurricane Milton, Hurricane Helene.
I think I'm about to catch a whooping.
I'm about to catch a whooping.
Have them send someone with more experience.
These red dots you see, each red dot is one person who has called and asked for help cleaning up after the storm. There are currently, if you look at the cases here, there are 19,996 cases. So basically 20,000 calls for help. That's 20,000 individual residences where someone has made a call and saying, please, we need help. And it varies from, I've got a branch in my limb, a limb that fell in my yard, and I've got a bad back, and I just need somebody to drag it to the street. That would be on the low end. And on the upper end is, I've got a 9-month-old baby in the house. We have a tree that came down through the living room roof and a tree that came down through our bedroom roof and crushed our bed. We have nowhere to go. Please send help. And I've taken the gamut of calls over the weekend for that. One guy called and he said, I have 95 trees on my 12 acres of property. And he's an elderly gentleman, 95 trees down. And I just don't know where to start. And he represents one little dot. But this is what I wanted to share, a little bit of the good news. Obviously, Florida took the brunt of the beating. If you look at the colors on these dots, a green dot means that the work has been done. Someone has come in and helped them, and they're finished. It's cleaned up. Red means that a request has been made and nobody's signed up to fix it. Yellow means people have signed up to fix the request. So if you look down here by Saratoga, there's a lot of yellow, a lot of work in progress. People are cleaning it up. All along the coast, the yellow is starting to show up. What is just amazing is up here in Asheville, North Carolina, which was one of the hardest hit areas, there is a ton of yellow and a ton of green. The emergency response to this area is huge. People are on the ground. I'll be there next week. And we're sending 100 people from our organization, a church organization, to be on the ground there and do some of the labor to get some of these jobs done that I've been taking calls for today. But the areas south of us, just the winds that came through are tremendous. Most of the damages in this middle area was from wind. Up in here, a little bit from flooding closer to rivers. But the sad part is as you look at, especially up in the North Carolina where they got so much water flooding, is that many people are not calling because there's nothing to do. Not that there's no work to be done, but there's nothing you can do. The home is gone. The property is gone. The land it was sitting on is now 30 feet lower than it used to be, and it's just a riverbed. There's just so much that isn't represented and can't be represented on the map because you can't really put in a ticket to bring back 40 feet of soil, of topsoil, for in a 3 acre space. It's crazy. It's absolutely mind-boggling to think about. But the good news is there are good people all over right now out there helping, sending help, sending food. I'm hearing all across this that yes, the government is there doing what the government does. The government, when it comes to FEMA, it's not their job to do search and rescues. That's not what they do. They do funding, federal funding for the most part, and it's a little bit of coordinating. But the people are getting help, and as this progresses, we're going to see more and more of those turn yellow and then green. So that was that. That's really cool. I've missed. I think I turned off chat here on accident. Hang on just one second. I'll find it again. I think. Or not. Oh, there it is. All right. There's a lot of rumors, and let me address this because there's a lot on YouTube right now about the relief efforts that are happening in as people are trying to help and being thwarted in some way. And I'll say that that there is some truth to pretty much everything we've heard. We've heard that helicopters aren't being allowed to fly. We've heard that drones aren't being allowed to fly. We've heard that people are being refused when they show up with stuff and they're saying, you can't be here. No, you can't go up there. There are a lot of competing interests that are all trying to do the same thing. They're all trying to help. And the guys that are trying to fly drones and say, we're just looking for survivors. If a drone's in the air, a helicopter can't be. And so the drones are getting shut down, saying we need this space for airspace. There are people that are flying helicopters saying we're just going to search for people. And as the organization builds, they're saying you can't just be flying around up here. We've got so many, 34 private helicopters flying in this tiny area. Think how dangerous it is, and how much we hear like when there's a police chase and you've got 4 helicopters in the sky. Okay, in the same sort of general area, how much they're watching each other and keep an eye on different levels and everything. The coordination is massive, and the danger is huge, and that is a major concern. As far as the goods and services, people were showing up, just dropping off huge, generous donations, water, food, clothes, things like that, and they just show up and they have nowhere to give it to. They expected someone to be standing there waving their hands with a sign that says help, and it's not there. I mean, it's so spread out that just showing up and dumping supplies somewhere is actually causing problems with looting on by people who don't need it. And it's convoluted. It's crazy. It does need more organization. And almost always in a natural disaster like this, the first couple weeks are like that. It takes a while for there to be a plan that says that this is how it's going to work. And sadly, it's those first few days are crucial for some people. But this is where it is, and it's going to grow and it's going to get better. And it's going to be a partnership. It's not the government doing it all. It's not the private people doing it all. It's the government's doing some things that the people can't do, and the people are doing things that the government isn't set up to do. And it's all going to be happening. It's going to be the weekend that I'm going to be there. I'll be there the weekend. So I don't know. Well, they haven't told me what my assignment is yet, so I don't know where. We just know it's supposed to be in the Asheville area. All right, I'm keeping an eye out for Judge Simpson. So if somebody sees his court go live, please let me know. Starkey lady, there are many churches. There are many churches. What I'd say is, you've got everything: Baptist, Lutheran, agnostic. You've got organizations, clubs you've got like Team Rubicon is there on the ground. I don't want to show all the names of people because a lot of them don't want their names out there. Team Rubicon's a well-known one that they show up on all the disasters. That's what they do. But I'm away from the dots. It's going to be a 6-hour drive for me to get to Asheville. Let's see. Lori knows raising money. I love this. Peter Tragos has a connection to this area. He goes up to Boone when he's up at the cabin. When he does his videos from the cabin, he's up there near Asheville. He's up there near Boone, North Carolina. It is beautiful. I mean, if you say heaven on earth, it is the most gorgeous little community. Just incredible. The whole mountain area up there is amazing, and I know why he goes up there. That's where we went for over the Christmas. Well, I think it was over the end of the year. That's where we took our family up, and we rented an Airbnb up there in the cabin, and just loved it. But let's see. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, hang on. I'm sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place. I cannot miss what's happening today in Judge Simpson's court, because I don't want you to miss what's happening today, and I don't want to announce something because I'm hearing it secondhand.
Have them send someone
through Andrea.
with more experience.
Cheryl, they do. There's protocol, there's emergency management, disaster relief plans. There are systems that work, and almost always the system needs to be adjusted for the local area. You can't just say, well, this is how it has to be done, period. And a lot of times there's red tape that needs to be cut in some areas, and sometimes the rules bend a little bit, and sometimes the rules follow it a little more to make it more effective. Cajun Navy, they are also awesome. They do a lot of work with hurricane relief. Peter Tragos is matching donations, which is awesome. That is huge. I have some memberships to read. I am sorry. Thank you very much, Samantha. Let's see. All right, we got to Stephanie, member for 7 months, says thank you to community and RA family. It's been life-changing for me, and I bet others too, being here. Thank you, Stephanie. Congratulations on 7 months. Diabetes says a member for 11 months. 1 more month in yellow, and then you will be orange. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to that amazing day. Amber, Clipson's Vixen, big help. Laura Olson, not Owens. Did I say Owens? I'm sorry. Laura, I do apologize. I got the initials right, L-O. I just said Owens instead of Olson. My apologies. We changed Haley's life on Friday. Happy birthday to my 4 puppies, Patches, Chevy, Jasmine, and Boo Boo. Surprise, you have 4 puppies. That is awesome, Amber. I'm not sure if you've heard the news. Amber, maybe give me a call, and I can take your call off air just to talk it over, because I want to see how best to do this. Paula Mack, member for 17 months, says, love being here. Everyone, please keep Melissa, Matthew, Thomas in prayers. She posted an update this morning. Cancer is an ugly, hateful disease. Oh, my goodness. Yes, cancer is a monster, and it hits and takes the best from among us. So please keep them in your thoughts. Hold on just 1 second. I need to talk to Amber just for 1 moment.
Shame on you, sir.
When are we going to break for lunch, Judge?
I saw a chicken fight.
The zombie apocalypse may be upon us.
This is why I have great mods. Apparently, time zones are a thing, and I was not taking that into account. 11 o'clock is the Simpson thing. I'm like, where is it? It's 9:48, and okay, so we might be an hour off. She doesn't know the news already, and she's going to keep mum. Sophia Starlin, almost a year already. 11 months for you as well, dog mom. Thank you. Welcome to the gallery. Good to have you in orange, dog mom. Thank you so much. All right, so we get enough time to
Somebody just sent me a video of roaches fighting. I don't know who won.
I don't know who won. A little bit of court hopping. So give me just a minute to get that pulled up. It's going to be fun. Oh my goodness. What is in an hour? I was like, Mel, this is what we know. Andrea reached out to us yesterday, I think, and said the court emailed Haley and said, we're having an emergency hearing on Monday. You got to show up to. And she's like, I can't be there. I'm scheduling. I'm in a different area right now. But they said, you've got to be there on Monday. They basically just said, you have to be here. Something big is happening. And I can tell you, I think it's of the same nature as what we saw happen with GoFundMe on Friday, but separate. So that's where it's at. Oh my goodness. Did I not? Lily Wayne, I apologize. I have to go back and do all these. Let me start at the beginning. Catherine, member for 4 months. Thank you very much. Kimar, thank you as well. 16 months. Britta has 17 months, as does, nope. This is 7 and 17. It's very similar, but 10 off. Amber's going to be on the air. Hang on one second. Amber, you're on the air. What's happening?
I goofed. Washtenaw County is still on Eastern, so they should be live in 10 minutes.
Okay, so I was thinking, I was like, how was I lost about that? But, okay, so you were...
Part of Michigan is in Central Standard.
I just need
My
to
mom
say,
used to live in the Upper Peninsula.
I just need you to tell me that you were wrong. No, just kidding.
I was wrong.
Okay,
yeah, I sure was.
And we could go...
I still don't see them live.
All right, so...
Now I'm panicking, dang it.
We're hoping the courtroom, maybe somebody could tell us, the courtroom they've been told to be in is courtroom C. And I'm not sure if that's the courtroom that is live, that's live streamed, because he does some work in other courtrooms that's not televised. So we're hoping that's the one. All right, thank you, Amber. So it will be 9 minutes. And the judge is always late. I mean, honestly, when has he started his 10 o'clock docket at 10 o'clock? Never. It's always like 10:20.
I don't know. It's making me nervous.
If we don't get the live stream, we'll see if we could maybe connect with Andrea or Haley. I don't know if she'd be
Oh yeah, for sure.
But we'll see if we can get the news directly from them. Does that work?
Yep, works for me.
Thank you, Amber. Appreciate your help. Thanks
Welcome.
for steering me wrong and then set me straight. All right. See you.
Bye.
All right. Stephanie, thank you very much. 7 months. We had Diabetes, 11 months. Calypson's Vixen. Who is this girl? No, this is Amber, who you just heard on the phone. 19 months of support. Thank you very much, Amber. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? It's Amber.
It's me. Judge just went live. Go pull it up.
All right. Thank you. I'm like, why? We just talked like seconds ago. All right.
Live. Bye.
Okay, bye. All right. So this is where we're going to be. We're going to live here for just a minute so we don't miss anything. And let me adjust this. See that little white line on the screen? That is no bueno. It's no good. I need to get that fixed. So let's do... Why is that not working? Done. Where's mix effect? I don't know why these buttons are not working. I don't know why. It's driving me nuts. Okay, we're going to record that one. Oh, that's funky. It's full. I can't record because it's full. So hold on, we got to make some room. We got to delete some stuff on my big dill drive is what I call it. Well, I've got two 500 gigabyte files. That's probably what the problem is. Let's move those to the trash. Delete it all, and now we can record. Beautiful. It's happy now. All right. Amber, thank you very much for your support, 19 months for all you do. Paula Mack, member for 17 months. Thank you. Sophia Starlin, member for 11 months, almost a year. Dog Mom, welcome to the gallery. DMB Secondist, member for 21 months. DMB, it's good to have you here. This is going to be a crazy trial. I wonder if she'll go through more lawyers during the trial, and will this show up on screen? Says DMB. Hey. Enough of that. We're waiting for Judge Simpson. That's why it says private in the background. Rose with Thorns, member for 3 months, says, yay, 3. Thank you, RA and Mods. Rose, thank you very much. And Rick Groover, member for 10 months, says, I'm getting so close to my orange courthouse. All right, there I put him on screen, so I'm doing better. Motions in limine filed yesterday, Kaylee. We've got more docs to read. That's going to be great. DMB says, now I always call you out when messages aren't up. I know. I think it's funny. And then I cry a little bit. Shore Life Creations, member for 1 month. Look at this. You've got your blue courthouse. Thank you so much. Says, I'm so excited to be a member here and to be part of this. Cannot wait. Silly Pick, member for 4 months. Congratulations, Silly Pick, which I see what Silly Pick has. You've got a Silly Pick. That's great. Some people don't know about Haley. Can you do a quick rundown for them? Debbie, yes. If you missed Friday, what happened, we were court hopping a little bit, and Laura Olson, did I get Olson right? Laura Olson said, hey, you need to go back and watch what just happened to Judge Simpson's court. And I struggled around looking, found it, went back, and there was a girl named Haley. Her name's Haley Salisbury, who was appearing in court. And Judge Simpson on Fridays, he does landlord-tenant dockets, which means it's pretty much just evictions. It's people getting kicked out of their apartments. It's people fighting with their landlords over money, and you didn't fix this, and so I didn't pay, and I can pay this much on this day. It's sometimes it's hard, and sometimes it's funny. Usually it's not a place we go for entertainment. But she said this is one you got to watch, and Haley is 20 years old. And she was in a contract with Spice Tree Apartments where it was a year-long contract, a lease for the apartment. And she signed up for the lease using money that she was getting from her survivor's benefits from Social Security. And the judge asked about the survivor benefits and what that was about. What happened was Haley, 2 years and a couple months ago, lost her dad. He passed away. And then her stepdad shot and killed her mom and her 3 younger siblings before turning the gun on himself and injured himself, but survived. He took a plea of no contest to that, and I think is serving time. But in that one moment, she went from being a kid with a parent, even though the one had passed just briefly before that, to the oldest one in the family with 2 younger siblings. And it was just heartbreaking. And she was also, because she was 18, it's like that the system's like, yeah, sucks to be you sort of thing. There was not a lot of support there. They did a little bit of fundraising at the time and got a little bit of support. But she found had a boyfriend, and they together signed this lease, not really understanding how the lease worked and what it meant. He didn't realize he was signing up to be a resident on the lease. He never moved in. They broke up shortly thereafter, but they were amicable and friendly. And actually, the boyfriend's mom, Andrea, when she realized what the situation was with Haley, sort of befriended her and sort of became a surrogate mom, and trying to help her out and help her through things. But she has her own challenges, with not having a place to live that she can call her own, and the financial difficulties as many people can relate to. And so her help was limited to basically encouragement and support and just doing everything she could to help Haley, but she couldn't financially just step in and make things better. Someone's hammering in my house. Haley ends up in court. She's behind on rent. She was behind like $4,000 something, and they just, because it's a new month in October, they tack on the next month's rent. Total with court fees was over $6,000 that she owed. And so Haley's up there in front of the judge, as she was the week before, because the judge had heard this case initially a week prior. And so the judge knew the situation, and he's trying to be as kind as he possibly can. But at the same time, the contract is solid. The lease, it's all legitimate. The Spice Tree has every right to say, look, she needs to pay, but they weren't demanding the money right then. They were saying, look, if she can't pay, we need the apartment back so we can rent it out. And that's what they were asking. And they were going to work with the money at a later point. So that's not like Spice Tree was being unreasonable, but they're also losing on this. So the agreement was to basically look and see if they could get her out of the apartment in the short term, and then she'd just figure out payment to pay this back at some other time. And when you're 20 years old trying to start out in life, especially in her situation, there was just no money. There was nothing. She was trying to DoorDash to earn money to get, to make a little bit on the side to pay for what she needs to, and to pay for her bills. Her headlights on her car went out, and she didn't have the money to replace the headlights. So she went to the store and bought those sticky, little push button lights and stuck those to her car. So she could push the buttons and turn the lights on so that her car would have driving lights that would make it legal for her to she's doing everything she could, but obviously just starting out in life, and just everything was stacked against her. So she shows up in court and is in tears. She just wants this to be over. She wants it gone. The boyfriend's mom, Andrea, is there supporting her in court, even though they broke up months ago. The boyfriend is connects over Zoom for the first hearing, and the boyfriend's father's celebration of life service, because he recently passed, was this weekend. But the whole family is just amazing. They're still friends. They're still trying to work through this and just figure out what to do. So Andrea, about a week ago, created a GoFundMe, and it basically went nowhere. Mostly because a brand new GoFundMe, unless it has some eyes on it, it just blends in with all the rest of them, and nothing happens. We heard about this, and we were able to find out that it was there, and we made the decision to, after doing a lot of little, on the back end, verification of a lot of different things, decided to go ahead and share that. Can I boost the sound? My sound? Am I too quiet? Test 1 2, test 1 2, test. How much do you want me to boost it? I could boost it like this. That's probably way too much. Anyway, we started sharing this, and you started sharing this with people you knew, and some of this community started donating, and some of the, turned up to 11, please. A lot of people started donating, and very quickly, as a matter of fact, about the time they got out of court, the GoFundMe had reached the amount that she needed to pay back what she owed, all her back debt for the rent, and it was amazing. They hit $7,500 as they're just trying to get a bite to eat after they've been in court all morning, and it didn't stop. It just continued, and we talked. Amber and I were on a communication with Andrea, and we were saying, look, it's nice that you can pay off what you owe, but that just gets her back to her head just above water. And we said it might be good to raise the raise the amount that you're asking for, because she needs more help than just, get your head above water and then continue drowning. And so they did raise the amount they were requesting or asking for, and the donations did not stop, and they just kept coming in over the weekend. Over $25,000 now has been raised for Haley, and it was just amazing. It was incredible to watch as good people. I mean, some of these donations, just $1 or $2 here or there, and some very large donations as well. Very, very generous donations came in, but all of it added up with over 500 people donating to this cause. We can post the link if you'd like, but just I want you to understand the full story, and also something's going to happen today. Okay. I would say this, there's no amount of money that can make it better for losing your family. And that's not what this is. This is just trying to make it so that she can start again and see that people are good and have a little faith in humanity.
Call from? Yeah, it's Donnie.
Donnie, good morning, my friend. How are you doing? Happy Monday to you.
Hey, I just wanted to let you know, man, I put in $1,000 anonymously. I didn't want anyone to know.
Donnie, you're a good man.
I did it all anonymously.
Yeah, that's.
I'm glad she could do better. It's good. She's going to start good. She's going to start good now.
Yeah, she is. But thank you for doing that so anonymously. Yeah, we won't let anyone know. We'll keep it a secret.
I'm only kidding. No, I did put 50. I made Karen do it. I don't use my credit cards for that because I find in life it's better to use other people's credit cards than your own. It's just so much easier.
Huh.
Yeah, ask Karen. She'll tell you all about it, man. Yeah.
All right.
Have a good day,
Thanks,
man.
Donnie.
Have a good day.
Bye. Donnie's a true comedian. I say that because that's literally, he is a comedian. Appreciate his calls. Rita Wilson, welcome to the gallery. I think did somebody, I'm not sure. There's the link right there. Amber, thank you very much. I think I can you click on it if I post it if I pin it? I'm not sure if that works. Let's see. Hang on, I'm way behind on chat. It's scrolling on my screen. So anyway, that's the story over the weekend, and we were a little bit in touch with Andrea, and she was telling us what's going on and what their plan is. And we also after this sort of, it was like $20,000, and we reached out to Andrea and said, look, we'd like to talk to you. I realize it might be too much for Haley to do. It's tough. It's tough to even to admit you need help. Okay. And she's been on her own, just fighting to keep her head above water. As the judge pointed out, there's a little bit of pride in that, and saying that I can do this. I'm okay. I can get through this. And here she needed help. And that's a tough thing. So we didn't want to put her in a bad spot that would make her uncomfortable. So we talked to Andrea, and she came on and did an interview Friday evening. And we also got to meet her son as well on that live stream right at the end. But just hearing a little bit more of the story is absolutely incredible. Andrea is amazing woman, stepping in and doing something just because she saw there was a need that needed to be done. And she didn't have the ability to just fix it financially, but she did something that people that have been able to donate couldn't do, and that's to be there and support, and to stand behind her and just be the sounding board and the encouragement behind Haley. So much help. So huge example. It was awesome to see, to all around, everyone involved. It was just amazing. Now, this morning, Andrea is saying, we got a text, or we got an email over the weekend, and the judge is ordering Haley back to court for an emergency hearing on Monday. That's today. It's right now. Haley's probably in the Zoom room right now, looking at the same screen that we are, from wherever she's connecting to. I don't know if she's going to be there in person or not. But there's some developments, and I'd like to watch them as they develop on Judge Simpson's channel as it goes live, if it goes live, which it's supposed to. So I don't want to spoil it because I've only heard this like second or third hand through Andrea. I believe it's valid and legitimate, but we want to see what happens here. So My screen says private. So does mine. This is what Judge Simpson shows before he comes on air. And he always is late. This is his 10 o'clock docket, and he starts it at 10:20. And a lot of times he'll start it with a recording that plays all the court, like the required statements that need to be said at the beginning of court. He starts with those, and the recording is terrible. They should be there in person. All right, that would be wonderful to see. A deafening recording is so bad. I'll turn it down. And it's a slide. It's like a PowerPoint recording with bad audio. You could not get, so it's blurry PowerPoint, bad audio, and too loud, and you can't see anything. It's the worst of all videos. Please stop talking. We're going to see it together. I just gave the background. I'll stop talking about it. I'll stop. Lots learned. Yeah, it was amazing to watch this grow. And even when it was under $2,000 in donations, I was just thinking, what an amazing community this is to give her that help to start out. And I had no idea that it would even reach the amount that she owed in back rent, let alone what it's doing here. Not seeing the comments. That's because I haven't fixed the screen. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to go to this camera. Does that work? So now you can see me, I think. Yeah, you can see me, but hang on. One more button here. I'm going to fix this. Why is this happening like this? Did that fix it? Hey, I fixed the comments. And there's a good one. Is that Judge Wolf? County Criminal Court at Law?
Because he's the guy.
We'll keep the Cedric's audios on, so as soon as something happens, we're going to hear that.
I was kicked back, taking it easy.
Scratch all that. Oh, that was terrible. I apologize.
Shame on you, sir.
When are we going to break for lunch, Judge?
This is not Burger King. People do not get to have it their way.
Alex stole it.
Bring the jury.
That's Travis County, Texas. Is that what you're talking about?
I saw a chicken fight.
If they didn't, I would lose my mind.
And Milner, I searched that up and it takes me to Travis County, Texas page.
I think I'm about to catch a whooping.
Oh, you're talking Judge Fleischer.
Scratch all that. Oh, that was terrible. I apologize.
We'll check out Judge Fleischer
taking it easy
later today. The reason why we're not at Sarah Boone right now is for a couple things. First of all, it is Monday, which is jury selection. We believe that jury is there in person. So they're starting jury selection, but court is going to be delayed because of Milton. Milton is a hurricane, and Milton is taking aim at Boone. Milton is bowling for Boone, is what I like to say. So it's
Somebody just sent me a video of roaches fighting. I don't know who won.
Uncivil, good morning. welcome to you. I see you there briefly. I'm contemplative today. I am trying to figure things out. We're super excited. We were able to help a girl up there in Judge Cedric Simpson's court with a fundraiser, and it raised about $25,000 through this amazing community. Hang on one second.
Call from Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde. How are you doing, my friend?
So I'm listening. I'm driving. I wanted to say, you are our leader, and we're all here because of you. And people attract what they put out, and I really don't feel like you're giving yourself enough credit with what's going on with Haley Southbury, because we all are really a representation of who you are. We're all here for you because we love you. This is a lot because of you, and I know you don't like compliments, and you always shoo them away and put it on someone else and say, no, this person's great, but you're great. And I can't see the chat right now, but I know that they're all going to back me up on this. This is you.
Thank you, Legally Blonde. I do appreciate the kind words. I've told you a million times, I did not create this community. I discovered these amazing people. This community has changed me for the better. I don't think it's the other way around. So I cannot take the credit for this when all
I will settle for synergy then. That all of us together have created this, because we wouldn't be doing this without you. You are a key component to that. Your heart is so good. It pours out of you. It pours out of you. We live and breathe it every day.
Thank you. I have to say though, I did nothing different than what I do every day. That's how much effort it was. Nothing. It was no deviation from my norm. It was not it was not even an uncomfortable situation to be in. It was. So I don't see myself as doing much at all.
You're a conduit for good.
Oh, thank you. But the good was you. And I know that.
Well, so. Only $25 of that was me.
That was you.
We're all here for you.
Yes. Well,
just take it, please. Just this one time. Just this one time.
I will say this was amazing, and it's still just it's incredibly humbling, and I can't even wrap our head around what happened on Thursday and what the effect it will have for Haley, who literally had no reason to have faith in humanity, because the people that are closest to her were either taken from her or took the people who were closest from her. It was just, it rips your grip at life and everything that's right away from you at that young age. And I just
everything.
And you guys coming
in.
The
things that hold you to the earth are gone. That's it. That's too much for any person, let alone a young person.
Yeah. So
small things done with great love change the world, and that's you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I do hope to make a difference, and I hope to make a difference for good. That's sort of my goal. But
you have. If I only speak for myself, I would say that you have in my life. I have picked up some of your thought processes and just kind of the way that you handle certain situations, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this like RA, because the way he does it, it just breathes good. It breathes goodness. It just pours out of you.
Legal Blonde, thank you very much. Apparently a couple people agree with you. A couple, okay?
Yeah, I'm sure it's just a couple. Anyway, that's it.
Thank you.
I'm not going to take up any more of your time.
Week.
Can't wait to watch this.
Thank you.
You too. Happy Monday.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. You guys are awesome. You're awesome. I'm so excited. I do feel bad for dragging this part of the story out, teasing you with it and dragging it out. But there's Haley. She's there. Oh, they're there in court, you guys. Oh, I'm so excited.
All right. The 14th District Court is now in session. Honorable Judge Cedric Simpson.
May be seated.
And here's
Court does call the case of Spice Tree versus Haley Salisbury and Gavin Wellesley. You guys want to come up? right here.
And good morning, Your Honor. Rachel Dornbush, Palace Law, on behalf of the plaintiff.
All right, state your names. I know.
Wellesley.
All right. Couple of things happened, and I know Miss Dornbush, you got something. Mr. Wellesley, you, as I understand it, don't wish to have any other interest in the apartment. Is that correct?
No, sir.
Pardon?
No, sir.
Is that a yes?
Okay. It's not correct what I'm saying, or you're saying you don't want to?
Oh, I'm saying I don't want to. Oh, sorry about that.
All right. As you were, and the reason I'm saying that is because prior to that, you had basically indicated that you have some place of your own.
I do.
Is that correct?
And I also, I'm staying with my stepfather right now, but I do plan on getting an apartment soon in the future. And I didn't know if me being on this lease would affect that.
All right. We may be able to take care of that. Haley, how are you today?
Okay.
You're good? All right. You wish to continue to reside in the apartment, right?
If I can.
Pardon?
If I can.
All right.
Maybe.
Oh, hold on. You're not very good about making decisions, are you? Huh? No. Yeah, you're 20. That's why. To get better. All right, let's do this then. Miss Dornbush, since Gavin doesn't want to have an interest, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a breakout room with you and Haley and talk to the two of you, okay? And do that because I think you might have some information and I also have some. Okay.
Yes.
All right. You can have a seat. All right. The court will stand in recess. And Haley.
Haley is headed to a breakout room with the judge. I don't know how long this is going to last and how much is going to be done there. But I can tell you just from what the way he asked the questions first to the boyfriend, he wants to be separated from the lease. And I think the judge is going to grant that with the agreement of Spice Tree. He's going to remove him from the lease. It will just be her. It's happening. And it might happen off the air, which is terrible. Colin's got life moving on. He's got support. He's going to be getting an apartment as well. So it would help him to not have this lease in his name. That would be a huge help here. So now we get to wait for just a minute. I have never seen this landlord forgive any debt, and I don't believe it's happening here. Spice Tree is a business. It's a big business, and it runs like a business. But let's see what happens here. His name is Gavin. Did I call him Colin? I called him Gavin. I apologize. We met him briefly at the end of the interview with his mom. They're great kids. This is an amazing thing. Gavin is incredible. His mom is incredible. Gavin is following in his mom's footsteps. The whole family has like a generational history of helping people who they have no moral tie to. Does that make sense? That there was a relationship and it's broken up, and you continue to help the person that left. That is just generation after generation. This has happened, and it's amazing to see because it's a trend where basically the community says, "I'm doing this not because I have to, but because it's right," and it's good. I don't believe Spice Tree is a slumlord, but they first of all, the rent is expensive. It's nice apartments, but they are. I mean, there's a lease for a reason, and it's like an ironclad lease, and this is how we do business. And sorry, you signed up for it. They're sort of hard that way, and the lawyer, has to follow the. They have a lawyer for a reason. It'd be very easy to just forgive debts. You don't need a lawyer to do that. But they hire a lawyer for a reason, and it's to collect and to get business to move forward. It's about to hit $26K. The lawyer for Spice Tree is amazing. She is. Miss Dornbush is amazing. She was in tears on Friday. She had a handful of tissues as she was watching what happened. And she's in a tough spot because she's doing her job for her client. And her client sets the parameters with which she has to operate within. And it's amazing. Francis Fitzgerald gifted 1 membership. Thank you very much, Francis. That is super generous. That goes to Ashley Oakes. Congratulations, Ashley. Hoping for a short breakout and then back in court here. She did owe about I think it was just over 6,000. And I think GoFundMe takes a portion of the funds raised. So you have to set it a little bit above that to try to, so that the amount you get afterwards is right. And honestly, there could be tax implications as well on this money. I don't know. That would have to be handled with an accountant. But can she afford the apartment? No, maybe she may want to leave. She needs a place, and she's trying to work. So she's in an area where she wants to be. Moving somewhere else moves her to, having to start over, looking for jobs and everything else. But she has a lot of needs. She has, she needs a place to stay. She needs to get her car fixed, and then she needs to have the flexibility that will allow her to look for that next step that will let her move up in a job or in a career or in education, whatever she chooses to do that will help setting her up. This is live. Ricky, this is happening live. So this private screen, that's because right now the judge is in a breakout session with Haley and Miss Dornbush. You can watch Friday's court on our live stream, Donna. It's still up on YouTube. It was just about lunchtime, so just after lunch, I think we went back and watched that. So the second stream. And then the third stream of the day was the interview with Andrea. Sarah Boone underway. It's jury selection, Susan, and jury selection is not being televised. What they're going to do today is try to get a pool of 50 to 100 people who can pass the dismissed for cause benchmark. These are people that would not be able to serve. Like legit, the court would say, that's right, you shouldn't be here either for obligations you have to family or health or, pre-standing conflicts. All those people they're trying to eliminate, and then they're going to try to pick a jury out of that later in the week. But later in the week, like Wednesday, that's when the hurricane hits, and Florida has one of the largest evacuation efforts that we've seen in years going on right now ahead of this storm. That's Milton that's going to be hitting on Wednesday. She's been behind since April. I'd say it was like $1,000 to $1,500 a month. I think sounds about right. Mr. Opatorso, we're going to look at that later today. We're talking about Sarah Boone, new documents, a motion in limine that Mr. Owens, who is Sarah's lawyer, is tried to keep the entire interrogation interview out and lost. And now he's trying to keep parts of it out because it's so bad. It's literally some of the strongest evidence against her is what she said. The strongest is the video she took. But yeah, it's so bad. Crystal, yes, you're right, Crystal. When Haley signed up for the lease, she was getting survivor's benefits that she thought ended when she turned 21. And in fact, they actually ended when she turned 20. So right after she signs up for the lease, she basically loses her income unexpectedly. Thank you, Amber. Oh, I was supposed to say to Katia, yes. Yes, because I can't send a message to you. Yes, you may. Thanks for asking. I appreciate that. And tag me on it so I can watch. That's amazing. There are also some inmate notes entered. She's not being nice. Oh, those are spicy. Mathis says the appearance before October, Attorney Dornbush said the amount due was less than $5,000. Yes, but that was September, and the new month, which happened a couple days before the October appearance, it adds on, because it's a lease and you're still on the hook until you're off the lease. It adds on next month's fee, rent, and any additional court fees if there are. Angela, I've actually found a solution. I'm going to invite all of you to move here. I don't know how to fix the international thing. All the solutions I've tried, Angela, in one way or another, expose my personal phone number to everybody, or might be cost prohibitive for the channel. So I don't know what the solution is, but if somebody has a good one, for several reasons I cannot use WhatsApp for that, because of what I use it for right now and how it's tied to things that outside of the channel. Mr. Opetorso says rent on my city is insane. $2,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment. I'm locked into a big but not updated place, and I will die here, LOL. My rent is so low for the city average. Oh my goodness. Convert your house into a Airbnb. We did that with our garage. We gutted our garage and created an Airbnb. We've got our renters out there right now sleeping. She's a nurse, so she works at night. So she sleeps during the day. I always feel bad, like over the weekend I mowed the lawn. And I'm like, I guess it was last week I mowed the lawn. And it was during the day. I'm like, sorry, I'm waking you up. But Sarah Bean, congratulations. Christine E. just gifted you a membership. Can apartments attorneys say they will eat court costs, fees, etc.? They can. I mean, anybody can come in and say, I'll cover those, I'll pay those. But the apartment's attorney can't say we're going to waive the court fees. Somebody has to pay them. The court can waive them in some situations, and that might be controlled by rules and or laws about what they're allowed to waive or how much they're allowed to waive. Mr. Opetorso says they can do jury selection. Judge thinks he can do it today. And Sarah Boone. Do we have anyone in the courtroom for Sarah Boone's trial? We have a lot of people who are going to be there. First of all, the lawyer is scheduled to be there, but he's also in the path of the hurricane. So they're doing preparation there. Let's see. Brandy Churchwell is supposed to be there. Jules will be going. Trial TV Live, who we're partnering with some equipment down there, is going to be going there. Let's see. Get a new burner phone. Have you tried a Google number? My burner phone is a Google number, and no, they will not work with the WhatsApp type solutions. That type of phone doesn't work. Hopefully they can get a jury today, maybe bring people back Friday for opening statements. Lawyers turn storm chasers. Lawyers turn storm chasers. Yes, that's cool. Legal Vices, welcome. Good to have you here. Kurt's here in the house, or was. He might have wandered off to a more interesting place. I'm not sure. I saw Jules say she didn't think she was going to court because of the upcoming storm. She has to worry about that as well. Everyone down there, the storm is no joke. Currently, I was looking last night at the forecast, and I think it's been updated since I saw it last. But Orlando area, over 12 inches of rain. 12 inches of rain. That's a foot of water coming down from the sky. The flooding is going to be tremendous. And also, even like halfway across the state, they're expecting over 100-mile-an-hour winds. It's going to be just terrible. And they just got hit. I mean, it was mostly just the western coast of Florida, but that same area right around Fort Myers, and sort of up at an angle up through Orlando, that same area just got hit by a hurricane. They are still picking up the pieces of the last storm. I mean, boats are still in yards, cars are still in upside down in pools. They already have this problem they haven't fixed the first time, and now it comes through again. It's going to be devastating. Let's see, Donna, where are you at? Donna, let me see if I can get this on the screen. There it is. Sorry, Diane. Excuse me. I read Donna somewhere else. Diane says, would you please say hello to my dad, Sam Knowles? He's watching for the first time. Sam, my friend, welcome. Let me go here so you can see something other than just private up on the screen. Sam, welcome. I'm not sure where you've been on the internet before this, but welcome. You live here now. You can never leave. Diane, thank you very much. Diane's a member of the channel, which makes her part of an amazing community that's interested in true crime and court cases and the law and some random stuff as well, as we all are. It's a fun little community here. It's a great place to be. If you do decide to stay, Sam, let me just say you're among friends. It's a lot of fun, and you're going to be hooked. So everyone's saying hello to Dad. Hey, Dad. Hey, Diane's dad. Welcome. Let's see. Friends in Tampa who are gutting their homes now because of Helene. Yeah, they're gutting their homes, and now those gutted homes are going to get hammered again. Kids are in the path of Helene. Mathis says, oh, there you go, Sam, from Germany. Mathis says hello. Milton is now a Cat 3. I've heard that it's going to, they expect it to weaken a tiny bit before landfall, which is a good thing. But still, even though the last projected storm path I saw sort of spared the Keys, like the wide area sort of spared the Keys, the storm surge is sort of pushes up there. The Keys are going to get pounded with the storm surge as well. And they could also get, the fringes of that storm. The western coast of Florida is supposed to get 13 from storm surge, 13 feet. 13 feet of storm surge. You guys, Florida is not a mountain range. Florida is basically a beach on one side, a beach on the other, and a slight rise in the middle, with areas of swamp throughout that. It's gonna be crazy. It's a Cat 4 now. It's a 4 per WFLA. Should weaken a bit. They say that, but it's growing faster than they expected. Let's see. Waiting for the judge to come back from his breakout here. Milton needs to come to Texas. It's like, we need the water up here. Yes, Allie, it's growing. I tell you, this time of year, the Gulf Coast is like an incubator for hurricanes. It's got that warm water. It's the perfect environment. It's hurricane fuel is what it is, and it just anything that goes over the Gulf just powers up anytime it's over water. Much more so than say it might do out in the Atlantic. Rand Hall, y'all, has an amazing name. 940. That means it's growing. It's growing and growing. Anybody wants to bet we see surfers on the news trying to surf the waves? Oh, the only thing you don't see when the hurricane comes through is windsurfers. But everyone else, it's just like another day at the beach for some. And, it's nuts. It is so dangerous. Ryan Hollyow is a weather tuber. Yes, he is. He's fantastic at what he does. Orlando's not on the coast, but 12 inches of rain can be a lot, and the judge has to also be mindful of the jury who can be affected by the storm. They took Helene's name from the hurricane name list and put it up in the rafters. That's because it's right up there next to Katrina when it comes to damage. I think Katrina had much larger loss of life, at least by the current counts. Greeners, R.A., Ryan Hall, Mr. Beast. those are your... That's funny. Should have called this one Hurricane Boone.
Call from BAP.
I missed the name. Who am I speaking with?
BAP.
BAP?
Yeah.
BAP, how are you doing?
I'm good. This whole thing with Milton has me kind of anxious. I have a good portion of my family over there in Tampa.
Oh, no.
And throughout Florida, but it is what it is. We lived in Miami during Hurricane Wilma, and it's kind of bringing back memories of then because it was coming from the Gulf Coast also, and it did that whole rapid intensification. The only reason I called though was to say it doesn't necessarily matter that Orlando isn't on the coast with the big hurricane like that, and with it with the Northwest Quadrant wanting to be going through most of the Central and Northern Florida, they definitely needed to cancel for it.
Yeah.
Because it's going to get real hectic there.
Yeah, 100-mile-an-hour winds in Orlando is going to be devastating. That's a lot of damage.
And you have a lot of lake in that area. It's not going to be good. Yeah. And so there might be, definitely Wednesday is out. They might not be back until maybe Friday or next week.
Yeah. And it would not be surprising to find that some jurors who made the cut on Monday are not able to make the cut later in the week.
Exactly, because they might be impacted.
Yep. Well, thank you.
Yeah, so that whole situation.
Keep your family in mind. That's keep them safe. Hopefully they're doing all they can to prepare. But there's
they know how to do the whole thing with hurricanes. You try to go as far inland as you can, and you stay away from windows and doors and all that sort of stuff, and try and be careful. Yeah, don't go outside. Don't drive.
I just can't imagine what it would be like to fight a gator for a parking space in downtown Orlando. It's just,
that would be all bad.
That's just what they're going to have. BAP, stay safe. Yeah. Thank you for the update. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. Bye. Waiting for the judge to come back from his little sidebar with Haley and Dornbush. Do you know how Treehouse Band is going? Yes, we've got a court date. I think it's towards the end of the year. I think we've got another month or so. I guess we're nearing the end of the year already, but I think we've got a little bit before it starts. Let's see. Per Kathy Russin, who's been following this closely. Thank you, Kathy. Both Kathys, by the way, both Kathy and Kathy Russin. They're picking potential jurors today and telling them to call in Thursday and Friday to see if they will start then or next week. If we miss all this, we'll see if we can have them call in just on the phone. Boone rejected a 15-year. There was a plea deal offered now? Only because the prosecutors don't want to sit through this trial, or what? That is crazy. plea deal, 15 years. Credit for time served. She's got 12 left or so. Diane, thank you for all the hellos from my dad. He's a former NCIS agent and is now struggling with age-related issues. He's my hero. That is awesome, Diane. Thank you for sharing your dad with us, and thanks for telling us about him. I mean, that's awesome. That was just wonderful. Waffles and True Crime says, no way they'll be starting on Thursday. The impact here is too high. We're already starting to flood. It's been raining for a couple days. Daughter's headed to Rhode Island. Oh, my goodness. That's far enough away. You're probably going to get outside the impact of the storm. The current path, I think, has the storm crossing Florida and then sort of regaining its sort of pattern, because usually when it hits land it just breaks up, but once it gets back over the ocean it sort of regains the pattern but stays offshore as it sort of arcs out into the Atlantic Ocean. We'll keep an eye on that. All right, Judge, it's time to come back. It's time to come back. We need to hear. Hang on, I need to post something really quick. Just 1 second. Just shared a link out on X for some good people here in this community that are going through some hard times as well. Thanks, Amber, for the retweet. Sarah wants the Sarah Boone show. I think Sarah has been in her own head talking to herself for so long that she actually believes everything that she's saying. Especially when she says it wasn't intentional, and that she should not be held accountable for that. Let's see, just 1 second here. they evacuate jails when weather emergency is close? Kathy, I don't think they do. The jail is built, though, to be okay. It's not like the jail's going to be flooded or something. You need to get past. You need. How's that? "15 years is like 25 birthdays." Oh my goodness. Check into an 800 number. I have not. I thought they were pretty expensive. I try really hard not to incur ongoing expenses for the channel. I'll upgrade equipment, but when it comes to just adding another bill, I have plenty of those from home. So I have plenty of bills just trying to keep my house up. So we try not to add more bills. I'm already a little frustrated with StreamYard jumping up to $90 a month. Haley's comment says, "I'm just checking in. Can you give an update?" We're waiting right now as we speak. Judge Simpson and Haley, who is the girl we helped on Friday from Judge Simpson's court, they're in a chambers meeting with Dornbush, the lawyer. And so we're waiting for something to happen here. What we think is happening is the judge is trying to work with Dornbush and Haley to get her boyfriend taken off the lease. Gavin. Yes, Laura, thank you very much. Is Laura here? Where's Laura? Laura, thank you. We were thanking you for bringing this to our attention. I don't think any of this would have happened without you saying, "Hey, this is one you need to check out. You need to see what happened." That one little message, got a huge effort beginning. Tori, the Seed Lady, says, "Seems like yesterday I found your little channel. Look at us now." Thanks for all you do. Best channel on the internet. Thank you. 15 months, Tori. 15 months. Great. Ex-boyfriend. Yes. Hey, Laura, you did a great thing. Thank you very much. Have you ever had anyone reach out to you to rent the Airbnb during the hurricanes? Mary, no, we have not. Mostly because we're booked out through like mid next year already. They're just, a lot of these traveling nurses know months ahead of time where they're going to go, and they plan things out that way. We're expecting the judge to be back any minute now. It's possible, though, that all this will happen off camera, and if so, we'll see if we can reach out to Andrea to get the update that we're expecting is happening right now, or is about to happen. Hubs went back to school recently for a big career change. He's in the nursing program and plans on being a traveling nurse eventually. I tell you, I was talking to, I've got a buddy from a lifetime ago, I think it seems like, when I used to be in the metal building sales business. And he was working as a loader. And he's a great guy, little go-to, and he decided to make a change. And he became a lineman, a power line lineman. And he was telling me that it's a really good job for the money. It's really good. I mean, at any time you could be instantly just electrocuted and killed. But aside from that, it's a really good job, as long as you don't make any mistakes. And I'm like, yeah, well, how good's good? And he's like, you can make $400,000 a year. Like 400,000. And so I was talking to a group of some of these people that I've been acquainted with, and there are some that are up to 600,000. These guys get paid like $1,600 a day to sit in their truck waiting to start working. And once they start working, the pay goes up. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's why it costs so much to fix after a hurricane. But they're really good at what they do, and we all want power. All right, we're back. So just plug it in, waiting for the audio. Come on, we need audio on this, Judge.
Okay. All right. We're back on the record in the Spring Street Apartments matter, Salisbury, and so it's Wellesley.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I had an opportunity to talk with Haley regarding this matter. You don't want an interest in the apartment. We'll sort that out maybe by Friday, because you've got a hearing on Friday. All right. With reference to the payment of the arrearage, as well as what may be the lease, there were funds that were collected, and I don't need to mention the amount, but there were funds that were collected. Talked with Haley, and I think she's in agreement that there's going to be $16,000 that needs to be deposited with the court into court escrow, and that can be done by certified funds. So, ma'am, you have access to those funds?
Yes, it says that they're pending until, and it says that I've never done that, working before like that. It says they're pending until the 8th because I can open it to website. That's what it says because we initiated the transfer.
All right. So on the 8th, which is, well, that's tomorrow. So our next hearing is on the 11th. So $16,000 of that needs to go into court escrow. That means there needs to be a certified check brought to the court. And then we will hold those funds. Is that correct, Amy? Right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to verbalize.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. All right. The other thing in speaking with her is right down the street. She's going to go down to the University of Michigan Credit Union and open an account there. I'd like that so that you have proof of the opening of that account today. If you can. Okay. They're quick. Okay. All right. You have a license, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's good. I think that's all they need. All right. And so you need to open an account there. Then they also have folks that, financial folks that can help you with questions and the like and what you have on that. All right. There are some other issues that Ms. Dornbush brought up. I'm not going to have those raised. I don't want those raised on the record. Just see what happens there regarding that. Also an issue with an agency we're going to try to get you in touch with regarding furnishings and the like, a nonprofit here and see what we can do along those lines. We're also going to give you the number to the University of Michigan University of Michigan Legal Clinic to kind of help you manage yourself through some of the legal issues. And I think that was everything we talked about. Is that right, Haley?
I think so, yeah.
All right. Okay. So, Ms. Dornbush, was there anything else?
Nothing, Your Honor. I think we've covered everything, and hopefully we'll have some additional updates by Friday.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Haley, wait a moment. We'll get all that information to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Court's in recess.
Okay, Amber, can you reach out to Andrea and see if she could be willing to just make a phone call the burner phone or my personal phone to explain what just happened. Some of it is pending. I think the part that we want to hear about is what. First, let me stop. Let me back up. Everyone's like, "What? 16,000? What? It just went up by 10 grand?" Yes, in escrow, there is a lease, and the payment of that lease is disputed. There are funds that would be available to pay the lease should it all at some point become due. The court who is navigating this is saying, we want to just hold those funds. They might all be refunded to Haley. They might not. But, as the mediator between the two, they're going to hold those in escrow until a decision is made. So that fixes everything. It basically says, okay, now we can sort out the issues because the money's here and we'll move it where it needs to be when it's right. Miss Dornbush, I believe, had some information because there was something that came to her, information similar to how it did on Friday, and we're going to see if possibly we can get Andrea to call us just briefly on the phone. Yeah, because I want the full scoop, and some of it is basically news that hasn't really materialized yet. Go to call here. Who's this?
Call from Bree.
Bree, how's it going?
Good morning. Maybe off air you can text me back. I just want to know what location this court's in. I do corporate recruiting and I work for T-Mobile. My call centers are usually always hiring. So if there's a location within her area, I'd like to be able to get her a link and let her apply.
Okay. She's up in Washtenaw in Michigan.
Okay, let me look. I don't know, but if not, I'm sure I have a retail store. I will just, if she wants to apply and just, put my name down, I can watch for her stuff. And if she's looking for something different work-wise, I can definitely put in, let's kind of situation and see if they can't maybe help find her something that would get her a job.
That's awesome, Bree. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. We'll be
You're
happy
welcome.
to pass
Let me.
on.
You have my number. It's the 316 number. I'll just text you and say it's Bree, just so you know. That way they can just get in touch with me.
Awesome.
You can pass my number along.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Bree. All right.
Bye.
Bye. That's cool. Near Ann Arbor, Michigan. We're hoping to see if we can connect with Andrea. Just one second here. Did I say Wisconsin? Grand Rapids, Michigan? I get my states mixed up. Once you get around the Great Lakes, it's pretty much all the same, right? Where's Ivan? He'll set me straight on that one. How did she start? Why was she in court to begin with? Ohio Jaden, she was in court because she was behind on her rent. This is landlord-tenant issues. She was behind on her rent because she signed a contract thinking she was going to have money to pay the contract, but the benefit that was paying the contract expired a year before she understood it was going to expire. The benefit was a death benefit because her mom and 3 siblings were murdered by her stepdad. So yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy situation. She's just everything has gone against her for years in life. Death benefit is the best branding there ever was. Yeah, the words, like there's a benefit in death. Yeah, it's crazy. Rhonda, it's up to 26,000 on the GoFundMe. The 1 county away from Washtenaw, and it's Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti. Is it Ypsilanti? I think it's Yp, not Yip. Ypsilanti area. Milton's quickly intensifying into a Cat 5. Her birth father did die previously, and then her stepfather shot and killed her mom and 3 siblings. And so she is now the oldest of 3 remaining siblings. Don, no, not yet. There has not been anything on that front. We did talk to Andrea a little bit about that. Gypsy Moon, I don't have the connections to the family. I don't know where they're at or their ages or who they're staying with. So I don't know about the other 2 siblings. Bite Me, thank you so much for making me feel like I'm family here. You are the best, and we have the most generous, best community. Rebecca, thank you so much for your generosity. Even though I absolutely hate mosquitoes, I love seeing your profile picture pop up. Thank you. Rebecca counts mosquitoes for a living, honestly. She tracks mosquito populations, which is helpful for knowing where they are so that we can wipe those little buggers out. Oh, can I say? I think I can say buggers. Allie B, I'm hearing that is true. I'm hearing that she did just deny a 15 or turn down a 15-year plea. Second here. Okay. This is crazy. I am seeing a tiny bit of Boone coverage here from Court TV. There's been some video. I'm not sure exactly what's going to be covered. Care to share with the rest of the class? I'm sorry. We're trying to see what's going on with Boone. I had to turn the microphone off so I could hear something on another feed without causing problems that way. It is incredibly slow. Who's got the internet today? This is nuts. Sorry, guys, we're trying to put pieces together here right now. All right, can we read the documents? In Boone's case, yes. Let me just bring him up on screen here just 1 second.
Call from Jedia. To accept, press 1.
Katia, how are you doing?
Hi, hello, I'm okay. I just posted that video that I told you I was going to do about Haley and her story on my TikTok. So I did tag you. Well, I think I tagged you. I don't know if it was the correct account. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, just doing my part.
Thank you very much.
Out.
I'll take a look and maybe be able to reshare it or something. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. All right. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye. Let's see. True Crime Addict mentioned you in a video. There it is. It's awesome. Okay, now I need to shut this down just so it doesn't cause problems with copyright. There we go. All right, sorry. Crazy morning here. Lots happening behind the scenes. We're trying to get possible information from Andrea. We don't have confirmation yet from her, but she might still be sitting in court. The information about that spice tree that Miss Dornbush had is what we were hoping to hear. But like just what happened on Friday, more people have called spice tree, and they've been good people. Oftentimes when somebody's mentioned in court and someone's looked at as the bad, the evil landlord or something like that, they get like hate mail or some people that are not being very kind to them. But in this case, it was another offer for help. So we're just hoping to get those details straight from Andrea if we're able to. When it comes to Sarah Boone in court with Judge Kranick, why is Judge Wooten? Why does it say Judge Wooten is doing the jury selection? Amber, what's happening?
Breaking news. Jury selection has been postponed until Monday next week.
Boom. We knew it was going to happen. Milton showed up and everybody else left. So
pretty much.
There's the break we were waiting for. One more week delay. on Sarah Boone. Bummer, but
Yeah.
we sort of knew that was going to happen. It's going to enable people who are trying to do their civic duty to now prepare and save their possessions and their families. So it was the right thing to do.
I agree.
Yep. And what's with the 15-year offer? That's a
I
sweet
have no
deal.
idea.
I mean, I realize, what's the maximum she could serve? Is it 20 for manslaughter?
That I don't know. I know she's facing 22 and a half to life with second degree.
I didn't realize it could go all the way up to life. That makes the deal even better. If she's facing second degree and could face life, 15 is a sweet deal, especially when this is not a situation where she's saying, I didn't do it, it wasn't me. That's crazy. Oh, well, let's read some documents then. What do you think? Should we do the motion in limine first? Is that the good one?
Do that one first because I haven't read it and I don't know what it is.
Thanks.
I'll keep you posted about Andrea.
Andrea. Thank you. Appreciate that. We'll see you. Bye. All right. So Sarah Boone moves out a week. That happened. Let's change the view here. All right. Are you guys able to see this? Is that clear enough? This is a document filed. It looks like it's filed on 10/6, which was yesterday at 3:30 in the afternoon. So basically, for all intents and purposes, it came in the first thing this morning in court. So Sarah Boone, State of Florida versus Sarah Boone, defendant's motion. So her lawyer filed this in limine. The defendant, by and through the undersigned counsel, requests this honorable court to exclude certain evidence at the trial of this case, specifically redacting portions of the 2-hour video interrogation at the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and as grounds alleges the follows. The defendant, Sarah Boone, is charged by way of information with a single count of second-degree murder. The offense allegedly occurred on February 23rd in Orange County, Florida. During the homicide investigation, the defendant was asked to come to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. The defendant arrived on February 25th and was escorted into an interrogation room. A custodial interrogation of the defendant then ensued. The approximate 2-hour interrogation was recorded by audio and video. During the interrogation, the two homicide detectives questioned the defendants at length concerning the facts and circumstances surrounding George Torres's death. At such time, statements were made by the defendant and the two detectives. Some of the statements made by the parties should be excluded and redacted from the video mentioned above. From the transcript of the interrogation video titled Transcript of Taped Interview of Sarah Boone conducted by Detective Chelsea Coaspel, case number 20-17904. The first section of evidence to be excluded. This is the part he wants cut out. So, think about highlight, delete. That's what he wants. The following dialogue from pages 69 through 71, based on line 6 of page 69. Detective Scott Lowen says, hold on, you had 2 different neighbors that lived directly next to you. You asked to use the restroom and they told you no and turned you away. You had to go. Sarah Boone says, oh. Detective says, across the way to somebody else? Sarah Boone says, oh, no. Okay, Kim and Eli? Eli and Kim is not a nice person. Eli or Kim is not a nice person. Detective Lowen says, okay. Sarah says, she's just automatically not nice. Even after me and Lucas went over there and introduced ourselves, she's just not a nice person. Detective Lowen says, why would you think Sheila would let you use her restroom? Sarah says, because Eli was in there. Eli comes over and talks to us sometimes, which I think pisses Kim off. Detective says, okay. Sarah says, because he come over and talks to us, the two of them. They're like super standoffish all the time. My neighbors down the street, down the way, their toilet was broken. They had stuff in the bathroom. So then Detective says, bathrooms. So everyone says, go over there and try over there. Detective says, there's 2 bathrooms, so both their bathrooms. Sarah says, I wouldn't let nobody go upstairs and use my personal bathroom. That's what the downstairs one is for. Detective says, or somebody you knew. Sarah Boone says, they're in the process of doing all this stuff in the kitchen. Okay. And there's stuff in the bathroom. The toilet doesn't work. Just move across the way. No problem. And of course they let me in. Then them, they're together. Their families. That's what you really want to know. And I hope it doesn't get them into trouble. But he's over here illegally, so he's trying to work on getting his green card. The detective says, what does that have to do with using the restroom? Sarah says, they didn't want to be involved. What's the address? No. I was asking last night because, we had several different people says that's the detective. Sarah says, assuming, detective says, stay in the neighborhood, come up. Eli and him, this is crazy. This is why only one person talks at a time in court. Okay? Because this is the transcript you get. You've got to, even though it's all being said at the same time, you've got to like break it up and sort of divide it. This is why when the judge says, shut up, one of you at a time. And that's it. Brandy, hello from the Orange County Courthouse. I hear, Brandy, that we have a week reprieve thanks to Milton. And my next question is, are you going to be safe? Can you get out of there before Milton hits? It's only going to be a Cat 1 or 2 when it gets to Orlando. That's still close to 100-mile-an-hour winds. So they're asking to have this portion of the conversation where she's talking about using the neighbor's restroom removed. Did he ask Benny next door? Those are the ones next door. She asked to use the restroom, and they said no. Typo in there. Like I said, she's not a nice person. Okay, so all the bathroom talk about them not being nice people is the first part they want out. The exclusion of said evidence is required due to lack of relevance under Section 902. So irrelevant. Seriously? It's not relevant, so it needs to be excluded? I don't think they're going to play that portion. In addition, the evidence is proper character evidence under Section 90. Okay, that might stand. The second section of evidence to be excluded, on page 53, line 11, detective says, well, he's dead as a result of your actions. He's dead as a result of your actions. I understand that. And the other detective says, I have one last question. You realize you're the person that killed him, right? Sarah says, I thought about that. Well, intention or not, George is dead. You act like when you say unintentionally, that absolves you from everything. The above evidence is improper opinion testimony by a law enforcement officer. Law enforcement cannot express opinions on the law or the ultimate issue of fact for the jury. In addition, said statements assume the truth of contested facts and encourage the jury to find the defendant guilty as charged because law enforcement officer said so. If this opinion evidence is admitted, the jury may assume the validity of the law enforcement officer's opinion because it was allowed in evidence and rely on the opinion in finding the defendant guilty. The issue of causation is exclusively the jury's job. The opinion evidence invades the province of the jury's fact-finding mission. The exclusion of any and all the evidence described above is required as the value of such evidence is substantially outweighed by the danger of unfair prejudice, confusion of the issues, misleading the jury, and would serve only to inflame the jury. Wherefore, the defendant requests the court to enter an order excluding the above statements from the videotaped interrogation on this matter. Now, a couple thoughts on this. First of all, the judge is not going to be happy that on jury selection day, he's getting a motion in limine. Why only now? Okay, now I realize there's an argument to be made there where they can say, look, we barely got this, right? I'm new to the case. I don't know why all the other lawyers didn't do their work, but I'm doing the work. And there's part of it is like, how can you punish me for doing what all the other lawyers should have done? But this is very late in the day. This is 11th hour motions to exclude evidence. So we'll see what the judge does. I missed your comment, Brandy, to see if you're going to be okay as far as weather-wise down there. Elvin Summer Moon, thank you for all you do. Thank you very much. Thank you for 3 months of support. It wouldn't be the same without you. Thank you very much for being here. Brandy, are you still in the courtroom? I'm so excited that Brandy's going to be there for this. I hope this hurricane doesn't cause problems with that. Just going to write it out. I'm in the parking deck now, getting ready to leave. If you get a chance, we'd love to talk to you just on the burner phone. Or if you got my direct number as well, either one works, just to get the lay low of what's happening here. Sarah Boone, last minute deal, 15 years. I've got to say, that is a sweet deal. That is a really, really good deal. Considering she's already served a third of it, practically. I realize 10 more years, that's no laughing matter. 10 years in jail is like 20 years out, or 30 years out. But she stands to lose so much more. Nurse for God, 17 months. How time flies. Wow, that number grows fast. Nurse for God, thank you very much. Been a huge supporter of the channel, not just here, but also Brandy's channel, which we love. Thank you so much. And look we have here. Brandy?
Hello.
Is it really you? Oh my goodness, it's you.
How are you?
I'm doing great. You're in two things. You're in the path of Milton, and you're at the Orange County Courthouse where Sarah Boone had her hearing this morning.
Yes, I have become a court chaser and a storm chaser, apparently.
You're a hurricane magnet. Is what it is.
Yes, I am. They're following me. But I'm staying in Orange County, but I'm staying in Winter Garden. So by the time it hits us, it's supposed to have weakened down to a Category 1. And the house that I'm staying at, it kind of sits up. We're not in the flood zone or anything, so we're going to ride it out. It shouldn't be too bad where we're at.
So let me ask the question: for those who are riding it out above, in a sturdy building above the flood level, what are the essential supplies that you prepare?
I have always when we've stayed for any kind of hurricanes or anything, I always have extra bags of ice. And then anything that, when the power does go out, anything that is in the refrigerator can, be put in the put with ice. And then I have the camping supplies that I keep from where I camped. It has like the little bitty propane tanks. You can heat things with those, like the little griddles and things like that. So I use those if there's no power. Flashlights, batteries. Things like that. So just food and.
Do you have like a one comfort item? Like for me, it would probably be Swedish fish. I'd be like, I need all the essentials, and then I also need my Swedish fish. Do you have something like that? That's just
definitely not Swedish fish for me. You're alone on that one. That one's all you.
It's a candy. But it's the candy. I'm not talking like canned mackerel or something.
Yeah. I'm not a Swedish fish. I'm not real big on a lot of candies. My dad used to love those circus peanuts, and he would eat those. Those were his favorite, and I could never get into those either. But I crave weird things like Fritos, which is the most random thing. I'm not really big on any kind of snack foods. I like real food, but oh gosh, give me some Fritos and some. Like the chili dip with that. Oh, that's my favorite. So I'll eat that in a hurricane.
So back to the topic at hand. What was it like being in courtroom and seeing Sarah Boone like in person for the first time?
Very brief. Everything was delayed, and then now I'm in the parking deck now, getting ready to leave. But everything was delayed, and then with the hurricane, now it's going to be pushed another week. So, but I guess she didn't get her clothes this morning. I don't know if y'all been live all day. I've been wandering around here, so I don't know if y'all got to see everything. But
we didn't. I think Court TV was the only outlet that had it, and of course they cover the whole picture with text and everything else. And basically, you just get Sarah Boone's eyes and then Court TV logos around it.
Right.
But so we didn't follow it live. I did see a couple just little clips. I heard that she got a 15-year deal and said no.
Yeah, she turned it down, which is crazy to me because. I don't know how she thinks that the jury is going to give her a better outcome than that. And I could be wrong. I've been wrong about juries before, but I can't believe she turns that down. But I guess she's taking her chances. So.
Did you have her makeup and hair done? I didn't look close enough. Did you get any of that?
It was hard to see, but it did not look like, I mean, she looked the same to me as, as normal. So I don't know that, I mean, I don't think it looked any different, but I don't know exactly what, I don't know how glamorous she was going for, but but it didn't look too different to me.
So did you see anybody else in the audience? I don't know. Everyone's prepping for the storm, so we're impressed that you even went there. But I know Peter Tragos is going to be there for the trial. He's probably not going to be there for jury selection. But we've got a couple other members of our community on our side. Obviously, Jules. Trial TV Live is going to be there. I don't think either of them are there yet. Was it a pretty empty courtroom today?
Yes, and there were a few of the local reporters that I saw. What are they doing? Everybody's like leaving all at once, and people are fighting behind me in the parking deck. I'm sitting in my car, and there's people arguing behind me. But there were some of the local reporters. Fox 35 is here, and then there was one local reporter I talked to, Christina, I think was her name. But I didn't see anybody that I recognized. But I know that when the actual trial starts, I know I've heard a bunch of different people that had said that they were going to come. So it'll be like a Law Tube reunion over
It's
here.
going to be huge. So a couple more questions. I think next Monday is Columbus Day. Did they say start on Monday, or are they going to start on Tuesday?
They said that they're going to start on Monday, and I pulled up on the court website. They do not have Monday listed as a court holiday here. So I guess right now, as of right now, it's Monday. I'm going to check again just to make sure that, towards the end of the week, just to make sure that they haven't changed that. But right now they're saying Monday.
Awesome. And once this starts, what's your plan are you going to be live tweeting out of the courtroom? Do they allow that, or are you planning on doing evening wrap up videos?
Yeah, probably both. I'll probably do a little bit of tweeting. I'll probably be, if I'm able to, I'm probably going to try to be in your chat a little bit, and I'll give y'all some updates on some of the jury reactions and things that are happening. And then I'll do just a short live in the evenings when I get back home, or get back to where I'm staying, and I'll do just a short live to kind of do some Q&A about jury reactions and things that were happening, all the behind the scenes stuff. So
that's going to be awesome. Are you going to be there the whole time? Are you you're moving to Orange County for until this is over?
Yes, I am. I have friends here, and so I'm actually, it's kind of nice because I'm getting a little bit of time to see my college roommates are here, so they actually came over last night, and we had pizza and hung out and watched football, and so it's kind of nice because even though I'm working, I'm getting a little bit of a kind of like a little mini vacation too, to get to see some of my friends I haven't seen in a while. So
that's awesome, Brandy. Just to let you know, you have friends everywhere. We love you. We're so excited to get to do this, and looking forward to the insight that only you can bring. Even though we've got a lot of people there, you've got your unique style that we just love, and can't wait to hear the updates and hear everything from your perspective.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Stay safe from the storm. Take some pictures. We love where's Lucy? Does Lucy make the trip, or is she with, a sitter?
She's with my son right now. We are making a trip to Panama City Beach this weekend. And so I'll be up there for just the weekend, and then we're coming back. So I'm going to bring her back with me when I come. So awesome. She'll be down here with me for the remainder of the trial.
Yeah, she's been through a couple hurricanes, so she's ready.
Yes.
Sounds great. Brandy, thank you very much. Thanks for the call. Have yourself a wonderful week. Just hanging out with friends, I guess, now. So.
Yes.
Awesome.
Taking some time to live in the craziness during the day in the courthouse, and then enjoy some of the some as much normal time as I can to balance that out in the evenings.
That's great. Brandy, thanks so much. Great talking to you.
You too. I'll talk to y'all later.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm a little worried that there's a Florida man incident happening in the parking garage right behind Brandy. Hopefully she doesn't have to film it for court purposes if there's a fight going on there in the parking lot. But thank you very much, Brandy. Love that you're able to be here and chat a little bit. Love that you get to be there in court. That's where we all want to be, is there in court and see what happens, outside the scope of the camera view. Thanks for the update. Please stay safe for sure during the storm. All right. We've read the document. We read the motion in limine. I'm just checking to see what the other. They've got a order appointing experts. Okay, just one second. Where's the supplemental discovery? Is that it? We've got an evidence control sheet. Did somebody said that there was a Sarah Boone update of court or jailhouse behavior? I'm not seeing that here. There is a motion by the state's motion in limine to exclude battered spouse syndrome evidence or exclude mention of battered spouse syndrome evidence until the defendant testifies to a justifiable use of deadly force. Okay, this is an interesting motion. There's nothing to show on the screen here, but they filed a 7-page motion. We're waiting for the pages, the documents actually loaded. And there it is, just loaded. This is not a motion to say that she can't use the battered spouse defense. It's a motion to say you can't say that it's a battered spouse. You can't say anything about it until she testifies. I don't know how this would fly, because you should be able to say in the opening statements what you're going to hear in the trial itself. Let's see here. Let me take a quick peek at this one. This is the state's motion in limine to exclude battered spouse syndrome evidence or mention of battered spouse syndrome evidence until the defendant testifies. That she's not going to testify until the defense case. If this motion is granted, it will be halfway through the trial before the defense hears the first word of battered spouse. I don't think they'll hold this. So the state of Florida is asking for this. The defendant's filed notice as of her intent to rely on battered spouse syndrome evidence. Battered spouse syndrome is not actually a defense to a crime. The introduction of battered spouse syndrome evidence to support a self-defense theory is not for the purpose of justifying a defendant's misperception of reality or to explain why an unreasonable belief was nonetheless justified due to her condition. Rather, the Florida Supreme Court has sanctioned the use of battered spouse syndrome to show why defendant's actions were reasonable, to show in spite of a reasonable perception of danger from the battering spouse, the battered defendant would remain in the home with her partner, where she may resort to the exertion of force against him to prevent imminent death or great bodily harm. So if it's not a defense, then they might have this might be a support for that. It's not a defense to the crime, it's an explanation or a mitigating factor. The defendant has presented several accounts of what happened, several different accounts. She made a 911 call on the 24th. She spoke to a patrol deputy on body-worn camera shortly thereafter. She provided a statement to detectives a few hours later and provided a second statement to detectives the following day. The defendant retained Dr. Julie Harper as one of her battered spouse syndrome experts in 2020. Dr. Harper has interviewed the defendant about the events multiple times. We've got a lot of pages here. Dr. Harper's supposition for the defendant's statements are referenced in here. The state retained Dr. Tanya Werner as its battered spouse syndrome expert. Dr. Werner evaluated the defendant on October 2nd, and Dr. Werner was deposed on October 4th. Exhibit B at the hearing on this motion will be Dr. Werner's deposition. The state would direct the court to pages 75 through 79 of Dr. Werner's deposition for the defendant's statement about February 23rd. The state is not asking the court to make any credibility determinations about the defendant's statements to the doctors. That would be for the jury. That's the jury's purview. In the full context of a cross-examination with the defendant's statements to law enforcement. Oh, they would do that in the full context. That makes sense. What the state is asserting is that as a matter of law, what the defendant told the doctors does not entitle her to a self-defense instruction, nor does it entitle her to introduce evidence of prior instances of violence. Ooh, that will be crucial. reputation evidence of the decedent's violence, or battered spouse syndrome evidence to help the jury understand why what she did was objectively reasonable. Oh my goodness. This is big. Section 7 here. Let me explain this to the best of my understanding. What the state is asserting is that what the defendant said to the doctors doesn't meet the threshold you would need to allow you to have a self-defense instruction provided to the jury. You also would not be able to bring in prior violent acts by George. Oh my goodness. That would exclude a ton. If the judge agrees with Part 7, that's all the supporting evidence for her claim of battered spouse syndrome is gone. The defendant told the doctors that because of past violence between her and the decedent, she had a generalized fear every day that the decedent would cause her serious bodily harm or kill her. However, on this particular day, the decedent did not take an overt action, even in the slightest, that made her believe he would cause her serious bodily harm or death. According to the defendant, when she and the decedent woke up, the decedent wanted to drink alcohol. She did not. So in order to distract the decedent, she suggested they instead clean their townhome. Hang on. Why did that not work? I think we're on FaceTime. Just one second. Hang on. We might have Andrea. Just one second. Might have been a butt dial. Okay. FaceTime is actually the one thing I don't think I can use to bring an interview in. Tasia says, where do you find these court documents? These are on myorangeclerk.com. Orange County, if you search for Orange County, Florida court records, and then go to the top link. I think the top link should have a page that has the court clerk, a picture of that, and at the top there's a record search button. You then type Sarah Boone and click the I'm Not a Robot, and the second case that comes up is Sarah Boone's. But let's see here. Let's see. Where were we at? The defendant didn't make any overt action. According to the defendant, when she woke up, they cleaned the defendant's townhome. It's like George woke up and said, hey, I want, I don't know, beer, wine, I don't know what it is, whiskey, whatever his drink of choice was. I think it was wine. And she's like, oh, wait, I've got an idea. Let's clean your house instead. And he's like, okay. And they do. So when they're done cleaning, he still wants to have alcohol. So she's like, okay, now we can have alcohol because we've cleaned the house. And Sarah didn't want alcohol, but she had some because he wanted to drink with her. The alcohol they consumed was a Chardonnay bottled by Woodbridge. Bought from the I don't know, Sainsbury's down the road. I forget what the store was they went shopping at. In order to prevent the decedent from becoming sad or upset, she kept him diverted by smoking cigarettes with him, drinking, enjoying each other's company, perhaps using the dartboard on her porch. Look out below. I don't know. A dartboard on the porch, doing arts and crafts and puzzles. 13 just is hard for me to envision. Although it apparently would upset the decedent, the defendant suggested he call his daughter, who did not like talking to him when he was drinking, or that he call his brother to tell his brother that the decedent had dragged the defendant down the stairs the night before. This is new information that I think she's told these investigators, or the battered spouse specialists. Having done these playful activities for numerous hours, there came a point where the defendant and decedent were sitting on her couch in the upstairs living room, and the decedent tagged her and said, "You're it." From past games of hide and seek, the defendant understood this to mean he wanted to play hide and seek. She begrudgingly engaged in this game, as with everything else, to placate the decedent. She ran up to the shower after becoming cold and perhaps some misunderstanding about the rules of hide and seek. Oh my goodness. She left the shower upstairs and returned downstairs to find the decedent placing himself in a suitcase to hide. He placed himself in the suitcase to hide. At the time of his death, the decedent was only 103 pounds, had a blood alcohol level of 0.138. The defendant saw him doing this and decided to zip the suitcase shut while the decedent was inside it. They were both laughing, and there was still no animus between them on this day. The defendant states she did not zip it completely shut, and the decedent was able to poke a couple fingertips through the gap left by the zipper. And then the decedent said he could not breathe. The decedent obviously got mad about not being able to breathe. The decedent's getting mad made the defendant get mad. This reminded her of the past violence the decedent committed against her, causing her to be unable to breathe at those times. This made her angry. The defendant shook the suitcase. She lost control and the suitcase flipped. She hit the decedent's fingertips with the wooden baseball bat that was in the room. Now, after having committed the independent forcible felonies of aggravated assault, aggravated battery, and the non-forcible felony of false imprisonment, the defendant believed the decedent would kill her. Despite believing the decedent would kill her, the defendant flipped the suitcase over so it was right side up, and she believed the decedent would be able to let himself out. The defendant's specific intent was for the decedent to feel like what it was like for her to choke and not be able to breathe. She intended for him to feel this for 2 minutes and believed he would let himself out. And when that happened, if she died, she died. I just need this goat to just constantly scream. She did not intend to kill him, and she did not believe that leaving the decedent in the predicament she placed him in would kill him. His death was an accident. The legal analysis. Battered spouse syndrome evidence is inadmissible if the defense was an accident rather than self-defense. The defendant's testimony is that she intentionally zipped the suitcase out of levity and while kidding around with the decedent during a friendly game of hide and seek. Then, when the decedent informed her he could not breathe, she intentionally decided out of anger to make him feel like he's trapped in there for a couple minutes while she beat the suitcase and shook the suitcase. She beat and shook the suitcase and hit his hand with a baseball bat. This is aggravated assault, aggravated battery, and false imprisonment. She stated that she flipped the suitcase right side up, saw the decedent could get 2 fingertips through an opening, and she went upstairs to bed believing he would be able to get out in a couple of minutes. She had no intention to kill him, no intention to leave him trapped inside of the suitcase, and she did not even comprehend that he could die from this. The defendant is thus still saying that the decedent's death was an accident, and she is not entitled to instruction of self-defense or to supplant a self-defense case with reputation evidence, specific instances of past violence, or battered spouse syndrome evidence. The defendant's statement that she perpetually lived in a state of fear or the decedent is not sufficient to allow for a self-defense instruction and all of the ancillary evidence of reputation testimony, the specific acts of past violence, or the battered spouse syndrome testimony. However, before a defendant may introduce evidence of the victim's character, he must first show that there was an overt act by the victim at or about the time of the incident that reasonably indicated a need for self-defense. They cite some case law where the victim hit a defendant with a 2-inch wide, 4-foot-long stick on the hand, causing only minor injuries, did not justify defendant's use of deadly force. Comparing the facts of those cases, it is clear there was not even the slightest overt act by the decedent in this case. George did nothing that would enable her to say, this is my defense. Prior to the defendant committing aggravated assault, aggravated battery, and false imprisonment, which are not being charged yet, maybe they'll add these charges, there was no imminent threat from the decedent. You can't just attack somebody as they walk into their front door and slash their throat with a knife because 2 days prior they sent you a threatening message. That's the case law. If this evidence is improperly admitted, it would be a departure from the essential requirements of the law, which would result in irreparable harm that cannot be corrected by a post-judgment appeal. The state acknowledges that defendant is entitled to change her story yet again, so if the court does not exclude this evidence now, the defendant should be barred from mentioning battered spouse evidence until the defendant testifies to something that is justifiable use of deadly force. They have case law that shows the battered spouse evidence properly excluded until defendant testifies when that's the only source of information for the defense. Okay, so that case law, that is strong. So this is something the judge will probably grant. It's not improper testimony to exclude expert testimony until the facts are in evidence, and battered spouse syndrome not available if the defense is accident rather than self-defense. Boom. I certify the copy hereto has been furnished by James Sylvia Owens, or to James Owens, who's the lawyer. There's his email. Thank you for that. And Kevin Beck. Oh, there's Kevin's email. Looks like they've got their names in there. That's good. And Tony Henderson on Tony's email. There we go. To the court themselves on this day. Okay. Whoa. This is huge. This is huge. This is probably the biggest insight into what evidence we're going to hear during court that we haven't seen already. Because up till now, all we heard was we had the body camera footage of what happened at the crime scene. We have the body camera footage of what happened, the interview in the car. We had the body camera or the interrogation interview of what happened at the jailhouse or at the sheriff's office. And we have the videos that were on Sarah's phone. Those are the 4 pieces that have been public. Other than that, we've just had little teasings about, it's battered spouse syndrome. Oh, we've got, this expert, that expert. We're looking for more evidence. What they've done is they've taken her testimony to the experts that analyze battered spouse syndrome cases. And now they're addressing what she told them. And this has stuff that we didn't know. The baseball bat. She hit him with a baseball bat. We suspected that because there was a baseball bat right next to the suitcase. And the police found it. And she's like, oh, my son, sports. Yeah, that didn't go over very well. And they're like, what about all these other injuries on his body? What about, all that? Oh, it was, a rough amorous encounter. Yeah, no. This was baseball bat to the suitcase. And her story is completely different here. This is her giving an account of why the suitcase was flipped. They leave out details about the videos, but the videos prove that something happened between them. And it says that he was getting in the suitcase himself. Okay, this is where it goes absolutely just off the rails. It's a little crazy at the beginning. Okay, when Sarah Boone is saying he wanted to drink. And when he drinks, he gets violent. That part I can follow. I can follow this. There's a logical process. When he drinks, he gets violent. So I distracted him with, but don't you really want to clean the house? Huh? Okay. He said yes. They clean the house. Now we can drink. So they drink, and she's like, don't you want to call your daughter, who you don't like talking to because she hates that you're drinking, and tell her about how you dragged me down the stairs? What? No. Okay, let's play games. Let's do arts and crafts and puzzles. We can do Pictionary, and then we're gonna do a little clip art pasting, make our own little craft book, and then we're gonna do a puzzle, and now, then in section 15, having done these playful activities for hours. Okay, I want to see the arts and crafts. I want to see the piñata they made. I want to see the paper mache painting. I want to see all these things. Where were those? I want to see the half completed puzzle. Yeah, the Canva thumbnail is going to be nuts on this. Having done these for hours, there came a point where the defendant and decedent were sitting on the couch in the upstairs living room, in the downstairs living room, and the decedent goes, "You're it," and that means it's time to play hide and seek. That's our cue. Some people have a safe word. They have a "you're it." That means hide and seek. All right. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Defendant understood this to mean he wanted to play hide and seek. She begrudgingly engaged in this game, and as with everything else, to placate the decedent. Begrudgingly engaged as with everything else. She was the planner on everything else. She was the one who said, "Let's do this instead." She didn't begrudgingly engage in everything else. She runs up to the shower. Is she taking a shower? A cold shower? See if you can find. Okay, first of all, you might need to understand that her apartment, her condo, is small. There's not much. I think on the downstairs floor you have like the front entry room, and you have the kitchen, and then you have the upstairs and it goes to the bedroom and the bathroom. That's pretty much it, right? Milton is a cat 5. Oh my goodness. So she's probably on, I don't know, 800 square feet of apartment. And playing hide and seek in 800 square feet is the equivalent of closing your eyes for a few seconds, pretending you can't hear where they went, and open your eyes and seeing, "I still see you," because it's practically all visible at the same time. So she goes up and hides in the shower. George can't find her. Gives up, says, "Wait, I have to just assume." George says, "Well, since I can't find her, I guess she's it. And I'll hide in the suitcase," which Sarah told us was kept upstairs in the closet. But when she got out of the shower, George had the suitcase downstairs and was doing his best to hide in it. And so then begrudgingly, she's like, "Well, I might as well zip him up and help him hide. Ha ha ha, isn't this fun?" And then George is like, "Wait, I can't breathe." And that makes me angry. And at that point, something flips in Sarah Boone's mind. She's like, "Oh, I remember. George gets angry. That's bad for me. It's going to end badly. Now I'm angry because George is angry. And he can't breathe. I'm mad about when I can't breathe. So good, serves you right. Where's the baseball bat?" I'm not seeing the connection. She shakes the suitcase. In her effort to shake the suitcase. Okay, why is she shaking the suitcase? Because she's mad. She's trying to inflict some sort of distress or harm upon George. But in doing that, the suitcase weighs, I don't know, 3 pounds, 5 pounds. In addition to George's weight, 103 pounds. That puts her, still under 110. She lost control of shaking the suitcase, and the suitcase flips. Oof, falls over. I assume that the first video happened before she shook the suitcase. Falls over. It's on the other side now. This probably, I'm not sure if it's before or after the baseball bat incident. There's nothing on the videos where George is saying, "Sarah, quit hitting the suitcase with the baseball bat." We assume she filmed, stopped filming, shook the suitcase, flipped it, filmed again, stopped filming, and then used the baseball bat. Wooden baseball bat because he's poking his fingers out. No fingers. Whack. That'll teach you. Now, after having committed the independent forcible felonies of aggravated assault, aggravated battery, and the non-forcible felony of false imprisonment, the defendant believed the decedent would kill her. Who is in fear from who? My favorite line in here. she runs up to the shower, and it says, after becoming cold and perhaps some misunderstanding about the rules of hide and seek. This is the premise the jury has to believe if this story sounds good. Oh wait, we have 2 adults who grew up in this country who don't understand how hide and seek works. Yet we play it all the time. Enough that you can just tap me on the shoulder and say you're it, and then boom, I know. We're back to hide and seek. We're going to need greeners. We're going to need some searching. There's got to be an international organization of hide and seekers. What would the acronym be for the hide and seek organization? I know there's one out there. Like hide and seek HS. What letters have to be here? There's somebody out there. There's some expert that we could call, that we could say, okay, clarify this. Make, officially at the professional level, how is hide and seek played? There's a rules association, hide and seek association, the HSA. Hide and seek is more difficult if both people hide. Lily Tree, this might be like the next level. I mean, like there's the commoners, those of us who just grew up as kids and played hide and seek. There's that level. Okay, kids almost inherently do this. They like doing the little peekaboo. I see you. I'm hiding. Ha! There's that level with the kids. Like, I can't see you. There you are. Then there's the next level where you actually go somewhere and hide, where I can't see you, and then I have to find you. And then there's the elite level where both people hide and see if they find each other. Oh, man. I can't believe she admitted to the baseball bat. After he zipped up in the suitcase, she's like, and that's when I thought it would be a good idea to start hitting him with the bat. Never used a baseball bat playing hide and seek. I thought it was 2 separate games. I didn't realize they were one and the same at all. I can't even imagine 2 drunk adults deciding to play hide and seek in a small apartment. The world champion is Bigfoot. Should be in the Olympics at this level. This is crazy. What it doesn't address in her story about what happens in this altercation. I don't know what to describe this. How the suitcase got downstairs. I guess she's just going to pin that one on George, like pin the tail on the donkey. Maybe that's another game they were playing. Pin the suitcase on George. This reminded her of past violence where she wasn't able to breathe, and then she got angry. It's like, I don't know, PTSD kicked in? Is that where she's going with that? I do not doubt there were past. Okay, the records are there. Okay, you can search the records, and there are times where she's been charged. He's been charged. Both of them spent time in jail for domestic issues with involving the other person. Even before this, wow. She just was clearly her lawyer had nothing to do with these comments. She didn't run this by him at all before she started talking to these experts. Oh, man. The defendant's specific intent. Here, look at this. The defendant's intent. This intent is very important. This is using Sarah Boone's words. Based on what she told these experts, her intent was for the defendant to feel like what it was like for her to choke and not be able to breathe. If she has been in a situation where she knows what it's like to not be able to breathe, she knows the fear. What's the fear? The fear is that you won't ever be able to breathe and you'll die. That is the fear that comes with not being able to breathe. It's not like, this is really uncomfortable. You know, I wish this wasn't happening, but I'll be all right. You know, it will end, you know, some years down the road. No, not being able to breathe. It's very immediate. It is a fear of death. It is a fear of dying. It's a fear of losing consciousness, not being able to do anything to help yourself, being at the mercy of someone else to save your life. That fear, which she acknowledges that she has, she wanted him to feel that. That is intent. And when he felt that, to the extent that it realized his fears, and he did die, now she's saying, but it wasn't intentional. Hide and Seek World Championship was an international hide and seek competition held from 2010 through 2017. Wow. That's a long game. You ready or not? Here I come. I suspect she shocked George. She knocked George out first, and then he was involuntarily placed and zipped in the suitcase. Sinbad, I don't. I think, and this is just me talking. This is just me. I have no, in looking at this, the reasonable person in me, who I think I'm reasonable, looks at the facts and says, he must have got in willingly or been unconscious. I don't think she knocked him out first. I don't think she sprung up behind him with a baseball bat, knocked him out, and zipped him in the suitcase. It could have happened, but I think alcohol was involved. Because if she had knocked him out and put him in the suitcase, he probably would have died without regaining consciousness. That's my gut feel. And yet, here we have another story of what happened. And they can't all be true because they all disagree with each other. She did not intend being the key word, she did not intend to kill him. And she did not believe that leaving the decedent in the predicament she placed him in would kill him. His death was an accident. She believed he would let himself out. And when that happened, meaning, and when he let himself out, he would kill her. And she was just cool with that. She's like, whatever. At least he got to feel what it's like to not breathe for a moment. I don't know. This is so outlandish. This is so far from what I think a reasonable and rational person would conclude. That it's bizarre. I don't know how the jury is expected to believe this. Oh my goodness. Did anyone have Tropical Storm Hurricane on their Sarah Boone bingo card? You should now, and it should be the freebie in the middle because we have a 1-week delay in trial because of this. Maybe she coerced him, saying it would be fun. She talked him into cleaning the house. If you can talk a guy into cleaning the house, I bet you could talk him into a suitcase. Man, that's probably the last thing you can talk me into. That's not right up on my list. It's like, hey, that was my second option, you know? I was going to say either we could sit and watch football or we could clean the house. And it's 50-50s for me. I'm good either way. Do you have a chorus of goat streams? You know, we need the yodeling pickle because this is just so strange. Oop, I started again, and I can't stop it. It'll yodel over there. Accidental retrospective self-defense. Most men won't fit in the suitcase. He would at 103. His blood alcohol was 0.138. It's much easier to talk somebody into something who is drunk if they are not a belligerent drunk. Some people get very belligerent when they're drunk. But 0.38, it must have been easier. That helps. Get the mop. Let's have a night. Copyright strike on yodeling. Man. It's even funnier in the background. We have not heard from Andrea yet. Here's the thing. and maybe she doesn't want to talk about it, and I understand that, because the information we've heard that she shared with us privately hasn't come to fruition. It's basically well, I'd say it's more credible than an Amber Heard IOU, but it's not there yet, and so that might be why I don't want to talk about it right now. Man. I'll wait to share anything until we get the go ahead from Andrea. Big Sky DMC says 19 months and I couldn't be prouder of this community and our leader. RA 26K is just wow. Chad is the best. Mods are second to none.
Call from
Mathis,
the great musician.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. I had a longish call to close out my workday, but I will probably have to answer some emails in a minute. But I'm otherwise having a pretty good day. I wanted to comment on a couple of things. So one is, I think that the state's argument is ultimately should not be, we should ultimately not agree with the state's argument.
Okay.
For a couple of reasons. So one, I think it's silly to preclude something, an opening statement that defense attorney expects their client to testify to, unless they cite a specific case law that says you can, that explicitly says you can do that when you even when a defense attorney expects that their client will testify to this, then it really is a no-go for me. The other thing regarding accident versus intent, we need to understand that the conduct that she's being charged with is ultimately not letting him out. You could say it's also maybe zipping him up. Ultimately it boils down to she could have let him out, and that is ultimately what would have caused the death. And in a way, the accident element is kind of irrelevant. By that I mean, when you think about the self-defense element, you have to ask, so what are you claiming self-defense to? We're claiming self-defense as an affirmative defense, as a justification for not letting him out of the suitcase. That doesn't mean that, so just because his death was an accident, doesn't mean that she didn't act intentionally, because she ultimately, because either she foresaw that he would die or she didn't. And the state seems to argue that she caused his death accidentally, but her actions were ultimately, and even if we grant that, her actions were ultimately intentional. And you could absolutely make the argument, it wouldn't be necessarily consistent with all of her prior statements, you could absolutely make the argument that when he was shouting at her to let him out, she was thinking, if I let him out, he's going to choke me because he's angry. And she decided, if I'm going to let him stay zipped up, and maybe he'll be, and maybe in the morning, I will let him out and he will not be angry.
But if not being able to breathe makes him angry, continuing to not let him breathe would make him angrier, wouldn't it?
Well, the issue is about the spontaneity of the action. It's only really, and you have to consider that she was drunk at the time. It's really just about what was she thinking, and ultimately, So there's two stages for this. First of all, did she believe it?
Right.
And in theory, she could have absolutely believed it. That at the time she let him in, and she thought that was to protect herself. And then the next stage is, was it reasonable? And you could say that really the only thing that's legally at stake here is, was it reasonable to expect a violent reaction at the time?
And that's where they have nothing.
Yeah.
By her own admission, there's nothing.
Yeah, you could only get this somehow through battered spouse, and the evidence maybe isn't the greatest, but you wouldn't have to, for the sake of self-defense, be forward-thinking, because if you think he will be violent later too, then that would also be arguably a self-defense argument. Definitely. Maybe you would, there's then an argument to be made that she would have a duty to get someone else to let him out, and while she is at a safe distance. But legally, that seems like a viable argument. Now, of course, there's many evidential problems with her own statement that she made, that the state can attack the battered spouse defense, that there was an imminent threat in her mind. It's entirely fair to say the state can defeat this defense, but ultimately it seems to me that they really need to be allowed to make the argument that this was in her mind, so she can assert the defense, and then the state gets to attack it.
The state offered quite a bit of case law in this motion. First of all, Wagner v. State, you can't do battered spouse and accident. So battered spouse is self-defense, and accident is not. You can't have both. She is trying to say she had the fear and then accidentally killed him.
It's true, but the Wagner case is, I think, in that case, the precedent is the woman testified she accidentally discharged the gun, and here this case is, there's a distinction. Her action was intentional, and the outcome was an accident. Because there's a difference between not letting him out and him dying.
How is it different? Okay,
in the Wagner case,
well,
let's say
I realized there was a point. There was a single point that there results in the outcome with a decision connected to that point, right? And here we have a delayed reaction. But wouldn't that be the same as I had a 20-foot long fuse on the stick of dynamite that I put under the body, and I figured he's going to put the fuse out before it gets to him. So I lit the fuse and left.
That's true. So it would be about what is reasonably foreseeable. In the Wagner case, when let's say we change the facts of the Wagner case, say she intentionally shot the gun, but the death was an accident. That doesn't make that's not a self-defense case. If you can't, actually you kind of could, because you could argue that you were hoping the gun would just stop him, but that doesn't align with the facts of the Wagner case. In the Wagner case, she fired back, and now if you argue there's a fuse, and it's a long fuse, you would ultimately still always argue that if you let the fuse burn, go to dynamite, it goes boom. Yeah. When you let someone in a suitcase, it's the problem for her defense that he said he can't breathe. When people can't breathe, you should expect that that their health is at peril.
Yeah.
But maybe she believed that. We saw that the George Floyd case. There's a misconception that when people say when people speak, there's a misconception that they can still breathe, and maybe in her mind,
here's what I'll say.
He has difficulty breathing.
I agree in part with you, and we've probably got to wrap this up here, Mathis, because I know your phone bill's going through the roof. But I agree that it seems wrong for the state to be able to say you can't claim self-defense or you can't claim battered spouse. You can't say anything about it. That seems wrong when that is their defense, if they are going to do that. And part of me agrees that. But the facts need to line up to claim that. You can't claim self-defense if you were, doing a drive-by and you were just zipping down the road and shooting somebody. It's like, well, if I didn't shoot them, they would have shot me. That you can't claim self-defense there. And in this case, although the facts are way different, I think self-defense is a bit of a stretch. So we'll let this play out a little bit. But Mathis, thank you very much for the call. Appreciate it. It's made us think a little bit.
2 points along the way. Just 2 quick things.
It's got to be
so
quick.
One suggestion. So I really think at some point you should watch the opening statement from the state in the Chandler Halderson case, because in terms of devastating opening statements, in terms of tellus and what I expect from Sarah Boone, I think it's up there, and I think your jaw will drop how good it is.
I like good opening statements.
And the other thing is, if you, I wanted to commemorate something from Friday, so I got you another song. So if you check your WeTransfer, I think you will love it.
All right, I will check WeTransfer. We might have incoming music. Thank you. Now I have permission to play this one as well. You good with that?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Mathis. I appreciate the call. Good talking to you. We'll see you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. All right, let's do a quick check and see what came in our. This one's called. Let's see. There's an MP3 I have from Mathis that was sent to WeTransfer here that is called "RA Can't Go Back to Vegas," and based on the hit single that Mathis released earlier with the. Okay, here we go. We're going to get this based on how good the song was last week. We're going to give this one a play and let him be heard. That's I have no idea. This could be terrible. This could be good. But Mathis, we've got our fingers crossed here. Called "RA Can't Go Back to Vegas."
Hi, this is Lewis. I work for the fulfillment center with Prime Time Travel Resort. How are you doing today? I'm pretty good. Good, so I see here that you have about 4 vacations worth of travel credit built up. Everything is paid for. The only thing that you would be responsible for is a one-time booking fee here today. The first vacation is a 5-day, 4-night stay in Las Vegas. Then you got a 5-day, 4-night stay in Orlando. Then you got an 8-day, 7-night flex cruise with Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, and or Carnival Cruise Line. And then last but not least, you would have a mini vacation at your disposal. 3 days, 2 nights over 150 cities to choose from. And that, my friend, comes with a round-trip airfare for 2. And that also comes with the rental car. These are cruises? No, this is the whole package is yours. Okay, all you have to do is pay a one-time booking fee. Okay, the booking fee for the whole package. They used to do it for one trip, you would have to pay. They used to do it individually, but now that we're trying, COVID hit, and we're trying to, get people to start traveling again. So we have a package deal now. So once we're trying to, get the world back to where it used to be and get people to travel again. Oh my goodness. So this is good for the holiday. I've always wanted to go on a cruise like I've never been, and I've always wanted to go. Okay, so this whole package right here, you got the cruise, you would have the whole package for just a booking fee. The third and fourth traveler would travel, they would be on the initial insurance that you have. But I can't do Vegas because this is embarrassing. I have a warrant in Vegas that I haven't taken care of years ago. Oh no, believe me buddy, believe me, I've been in jail before. I'm not judging you, bro. No way, brother, I'm not judging you. And I heard in Vegas, bro, they're bad out there. Oh my goodness, it's the cameras. I've seen it on the Little Show. Yeah, I've seen it on the Little Show. You know how they take people to jail. The cops like the shitty cops, yeah, it was crazy. Because I've never been to Vegas. I would love to go there though. Now I'm curious, what were you in for? I'm not sure if I want to tell you what I was in for. No, we were just fighting me and my girlfriend were arguing. They took me to jail, but all the charges were dropped and stuff. Yeah, it was just domestic, but it was dropped. Everything was dropped, it was cool. Mine may have involved a police chase. Oh shit, in Vegas, that was probably. It wasn't like in Vegas, but I was going through Vegas and I almost made it all the way into Utah up I-15. What was it like the movie Hangover and shit? I don't remember a lot of it. Oh my God, there's video from a helicopter. Yeah, that's why I'm so glad that I didn't go to Vegas when I was young. You know, I'm older now, I'm 45 now, but I'm glad I didn't go to, to Vegas when I was young because I heard the cops were bad. Well, now I can't go.
I can't go back to Vegas. Thank you, Mathis, for taking. Oops.
Can't go.
No, I can't go. I cut the end off. Thanks for Mathis for writing a song about our prank call on Friday. That was pretty good. Did you have somebody like how did you get all the lyrics? Do we have like a court transcriptionist that takes down the whole thing? That was pretty good. Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't hang up on me when I told him it was a police chase. Like it was a cause for a warrant. That would have literally. I'm telling him I got away. There were helicopters and I got away, and there's a warrant for my arrest. All right, Mathis, thank you very much. Where can we find this? I'll see if I can make them available. I've got this one and the last one, which was epic. I mean, this was good. The one before I think was my favorite. It's just a transcript of my past stream. It was an excellent transcript. I had a few words in there I don't remember hearing. I'm definitely saying some potty words. Got to put some money in the swear jar for that one. Thank you, Mathis. Let's see where we are. We are court hopping now for a week, unfortunately, unless we can find another trial to pick up on, which I'm doing some quick searching on right now. Let's see. Let's jump to Judge Fleischer really quickly.
That would get him to actually be housed in medical.
Oh.
That's a whole different one. It has to be done, counseled by the psychologist there.
Okay.
For that one.
Okay, so let's set off a week. We'll have you come back and we'll go from there. Okay, Michelle?
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Go ahead and come on this one. Go right first.
Judge on Francisco Galvan. He was supposed to be here today. He bonded out. I called him and he said that he couldn't get a ride here. His sister was supposed to give him a ride. Can we roll it to tomorrow? Okay, thank you, Judge.
Can I approach? I'm approaching on Sierra Torrance. Torrance, she's on bond, TORRENCE.
She here?
Yes, she is.
Okay, what are we doing?
So she was selected to do a drug test on, I believe, September 30th.
Oh, she got a BBR?
She missed, yes.
Okay, we'll send her now.
Okay.
Judge, so she did take a drug test on September 23rd, and then they called her on September 27th. So one on the 23rd was negative, and then she missed the 22nd. It was a Monday and Friday.
What did they do? I mean, they don't call anyone for 4 months and then they call 2 times in 1 week to another person.
I don't know if she came to court that day and went and got sent for a drug test, or if it was a random.
I believe it was random. It was a random. Yes. And just to kind of fill in some of the gaps, she just didn't have transportation to do the drug, to come down here.
Okay. No, I won't today then, okay? Because you said she was negative that one, but she's gonna get called again if she fails to go the next time. That's it.
Okay, so you don't want her to go to me. Okay, no, thank you.
Okay, yes. Do I need to sign it? I thought I signed
we didn't
mine.
take that. This is William.
Oh, no, oh, yeah. This thing.
So we're.
Let me see. Yeah, no.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
Judge, I also have Lopez Cortez, and the state has agreed to dismiss his misdemeanor if he pleads in felony court, and I think he has an agreement that he's going to be taking. He's in custody, Judge. It's Wilfredo Lopez Cortez. He said that, it looks like there's not an offer in, but he said that it's his understanding that they'll give him time served on a misdemeanor. Do you want to give can we give like a 2-week reset to see what happens there, Judge? It's getting a little old.
Yeah.
It's out of the same criminal episode as the felony.
What did they offer him upstairs, Alex? Anything?
There's no offer on the table right now for the felony.
He says that they're giving him time served on a misdemeanor. I don't know if he's getting that from his attorney I don't know where he's getting that from.
Yeah, I mean, he's set for 10/10, which is Thursday. You want to send it Friday?
We can, Judge. We can't get a little bit longer. You'd rather have it shorter, Judge?
It's up to you. You want to do a week or two? Come on.
Can we do 2 weeks, Judge?
At that time, it's
Gotta make a decision.
put up. Yeah.
Thank you, Judge.
You ready?
Yes, for Rivera.
Might have something happening in the Thurston. We might jump up there in just a moment. Give me just a second here.
Mr. Rivera, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement. They're offering you 6 days in jail, credit for the 3 days that you've done. You need to understand that this charge will go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. You ever smell even the remote faintest smell of alcohol, they're going to charge you with a second offense, and now you're facing a minimum of 30 days in jail. What we're doing today, it's now a minimum of 30 days. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen or a possible immigration consequence, you can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, you can never change this. Is this what you want to do? How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated? I will find you guilty. You'll sentence you to 6 days in jail. I'll give you credit for the 3 days that you've done. I'm going to suspend your license for 180 days. Do not drive until you get a license. Good luck, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Scram device or, okay.
He's singing a song.
Rivera?
Okay, we're gonna jump. We're gonna jump up to Thurston County, Washington, where our defendant, who had to turn himself into jail. This is the guy that was high on weed and speed. Is the weed and speed trial. He had to turn himself in, and he did. He's now going to be sentenced. Let's see, where's our weed? I think I've got a weed and speed thumbnail, which I'm not sure we ever got to use. Let's see if I can pull that up. We found out after the case was over that he had a prior, well, it's funny because it was a prior conviction to this case being heard, but it happened after the offense that this case was involving, which is a little confusing, but that's the way it worked. Let's see, projects, where were we? Weed and speed. Can I just put this over the top? See if this works. It's taking forever to load. This was our weed and speed thumbnail. High marijuana skunk. You could smell it coming out of the car. It was a quick trial, but a good one. Anyway, he was found guilty. They're about to start court here in just a moment. Let's see if we can. Let's fast forward to when they actually start. Nope, right back here. See when the judge comes in. Has it started yet, Josh? I don't see the judge at all in here. Looks like they're still waiting for court to start. We might be live, waiting for the judge.
The heightened sentence of the state's stated no.
Okay, let's back up.
Mr. Boone, can you hear the court now? Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
We'll start right here. Okay, we're going to hear this begin in just a moment. Defendant's the guy in the jumpsuit in jail on the right. He's coming in from VC1, and he's about to be sentenced as we wait just for a minute for the judge to start, and he calls the case. Milton is now a Category 5. That is the highest that they go, and it is still in a rapid intensification pattern. This is nuts. They were saying it could be a Cat 3.
Boone, can you hear the court now?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, great. We've got you now. So start all over again. So we're going to call case 1A03438, excuse me, 09. Everett State versus Everett Gondo. We're here for a sentencing hearing. And the state's ready to proceed?
Correct, Your Honor.
And Ms. Capone, is the defense ready to proceed with the sentencing hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, great, thanks. So what I'd like to do first is hear from the state as far as their recommendation for sentencing.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, the state asks this court to impose 180 days in custody. The state here today is not disputing that this DUI conviction is a first-time DUI conviction. However, being as it is a first-time DUI conviction, the state's position for a heightened sentence here, 180 days, in the view of the state, is a fair, reasonable, and appropriate sentencing recommendation based on Mr. Gondo's criminal history, namely the vehicular homicide conviction in Pierce County, in which the date of violation was September 17th, 2022. For this DUI conviction out of Thurston County, Your Honor, Mr. Gondo was actually arraigned on May 24th, 2021. After the state successfully established probable cause, Mr. Gondo was ordered by this court to comply with standard DUI release conditions, such as no driving without valid license and insurance, no drugs, including marijuana or alcohol, to stay clean and sober. Not even a full 4 months into these court-ordered release conditions, Your Honor, Mr. Gondo was charged with vehicular homicide, Pierce County, Washington. Now, Mr. Gondo, while he pled guilty to vehicular homicide under the disregard for the safety of others prong, the original information charged him with vehicular homicide based on the under the influence of an intoxicating liquor and or drugs prong. The toxicology report in that case, corresponding to the Pierce County vehicular homicide case, showed that Mr. Gondo's blood had an active THC level of 10.00 nanograms per milliliter. As Your Honor heard, the state proved in this DUI case that Mr. Gondo's blood had an active THC reading of 14.00 nanograms per milliliter. Furthermore, Your Honor, the declaration of probable cause in the vehicular homicide case describes an officer's statement under the penalty of perjury that Mr. Gondo tried to escape from law enforcement during that stop. I realize that's a probable cause declaration, but I think the facts there are highly relevant. The officer states, I asked the defendant if he had smoked any marijuana. He stated no. I observed his eyes were bloodshot, pinpoint, and had foam at the crack of his mouth. I turned my back to speak to Sergeant McGee, and the defendant jumped the fence and started to run through an apartment complex. I started a foot pursuit and chased after the defendant. I observed the defendant run up the hill and across the street, jump a fence, and run through a backyard before I lost visual of him. Pierce County Sheriff's deputies, along with a canine officer and
there's a canine,
all searched for the defendant. At approximately 4:45 p.m., a homeowner informed deputies that someone was hiding in his backyard. Deputies and a trooper found the defendant, detained him, and returned him to the scene. Now, Your Honor, as Your Honor is well aware, and the state suspects the defense counsel will likely argue, the mandatory minimum sentence in this first-time DUI conviction is 1 day in custody. The state's position is that mandatory minimums are minimum sentences for a reason. They're not appropriate for all defendants. Here, based on the public safety interest, the state's position is that a mandatory minimum sentence of 1 day is not appropriate. As such, the state is asking for the heightened sentence of 180 days in custody. The state has no objection to Mr. Gondo's entry into a chemical dependency program if eligible. Thank you, Your Honor.
And Mr. Abed, what was the date of the arrest in this case?
The date of arrest in this case, the date of arraignment was May 24th, 2021. I'll confirm the date of arrest.
That's fine. And what was the date of the arraignment or arrest in the Pierce County case?
That would be September 17th, 2022, Your Honor.
2022?
Correct, Your Honor.
So a year and a half later?
Correct, Your Honor. A year and a half later.
Okay, I thought Mr. Campbell had told me it was like 2 months later or something like that when we talked last week. What was the, I'm just looking at the criminal history. There's also, I see a DWLS second degree on June 1st, 2022. Is that right?
That's correct, Your Honor. I think it's out of Fording Municipal Court.
All right. And a speeding there. Do you know what day that Mr. Gondo finished serving his prison sentence on the Pierce County one?
I can confirm that for you, Your Honor, in just a moment. I know it was a 2-year sentence. So, 12-month sentence, Your Honor.
For those of you that know Melissa P., one of our longtime members here, I shared a link for a Give Send Go for them. She's told us a little bit about what's happening. She's a very private person about this, and but they have asked for help and support at this time where their family's been devastated with Matthew's diagnosis. I shared the link.
Your Honor, I do not know the exact date in which Mr. Gondo completed his sentence from the vehicular homicide. I do know that it was a 12-month sentence.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you know the sentencing date of that one? The Pierce County one? Or the date he pled guilty?
I believe it was May 25th, 2023, Your Honor.
Okay.
Best
Thank
to
you.
be on a bad day.
All right. Was that all from the
crazy
state?
week.
That's all from the state, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Capone, if I could hear from the defense perspective on a sentencing recommendation.
Good morning, Your Honor. At this point, we're not asking for mandatory minimums. Mr. Gondo has 7 days of incarceration. We'd ask the court to impose 7 days and give him 7 days credit for time served and release him. If the court is inclined to sentence Mr. Gondo further, we'd ask that any amount of sentence be electrical monitoring eligible. I'd start by asking the court not to punish Mr. Gondo for a sentence or a crime that has already been sentenced. He has served 2 years on that vehicular homicide. And I think for the court to impose a sentence based on that would deny the rehabilitative function of the system. Mr. Gondo spent 2 years incarcerated. He did a substance use evaluation and complied with the treatment recommended by it and has not had any offenses since this DUI charge was picked up.
Do you know what date he finished serving in that prison sentence from the Pierce County one?
May 15th, 2024.
Okay, and I guess my point is we only have a few months
He's
of
been in jail the whole time.
history to go off of to see if he's turned the corner or not.
I would disagree with that characterization, Your Honor. The DUI charge was picked up in 2021. The vehicular homicide was picked up in 2022. He didn't go into custody until 2023. So there was a period of time while the vehicular homicide was being resolved that he was out of custody and there were no subsequent offenses. And there has been a period of time since his release that he has been out of custody and there's been no subsequent offenses. Even if the court was to consider that there's only been maybe a year's worth of time where he was out of custody and there've been no subsequent offenses, I think some of the things that Mr. Gondo has done have proved that he's taken this case very seriously and is turning a corner. Again, he did the substance use evaluation in compliance with treatment while he was incarcerated with Pierce. Your Honor remanded him and gave him time to turn himself in, and he did just that. I think it would be maybe it's not uncommon for people not to follow these court's orders, and Mr. Gondo did just that. It's not easy for someone to turn themselves in, and he did. He has his family in Puyallup, a mom, dad, and many siblings, and he also has an 8-year-old daughter who serves as motivation for him to remain law-abiding. He's working, he has a job that they're keeping open for him while he's been incarcerated for this period of time. But if he were to remain incarcerated longer, he would lose that job. And I think that that would be to his detriment. He tried to resolve this matter while he was incarcerated in Pierce County, but that's quite difficult to navigate. He was originally offered a reckless conviction. And again, we just could not navigate that while he was incarcerated in Pierce. So he came back, he appeared before this court and exercised his right to a trial, which it asked this court not to punish him for. He turned himself in when this court asked him to, and has since done a lot to put himself in a position to never be before this court again. I understand the court's looking at maybe a longer history and some serious offenses, but he served his time. And I do want to reiterate, for this court to take that vehicular homicide into account would deny the rehabilitative function that the system offers. Mr. Gondo served his time and has been rehabilitated from serving that time. He does not want to be here again. And I think that he's written some things, and I think he'll be able to articulate to this court as well. Again, if the court is inclined to ask more time of Mr. Gondo, I'd ask him to be able to serve it on electrical monitoring. I don't think it's in the interest of Mr. Gondo or the interest of justice for him to be denied access to his family and denied the opportunity to work. It would only put him in a worse position.
And before I hear from Mr. Gondo, Ms. Capone, could you address the fees for a moment and just tell me if your client is asking for the waiver of any of the mandatory fees based on indigency, and give me any kind of details you can on that?
Yes, Your Honor. So I believe statutorily it says that on a first DUI, the mandatory minimum fees are $990.50. In my experience with the Thurston County District Court, many of those are often waived, and we'd ask the court to waive as many fines and fees as possible. Mr. Gondo is working. They've been holding his position open for him while he's been incarcerated, but if he were to remain incarcerated longer, obviously that job would likely go away. He was making about $21 an hour, and he does support an 8-year-old daughter. He's obviously not making money while he's incarcerated, and probably doesn't have a lot of savings given the fact that he spent a substantial amount incarcerated over these last couple of years between this charge and the Pierce County charge. So we'd ask the court to waive as many fines and fees as possible.
Great, thank you, Ms. Capone. Mr. Gondo, I want to give you a chance to speak to the court and let me know your thoughts on an appropriate sentence.
Good morning, Your Honor. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. As you know, I was recently released from prison, and this is an old matter that I tried to resolve while incarcerated, but my motions was continuing and I was unable to get this matter resolved. Since release from prison, I've been doing well, helping out with my family, taking care of my daughter, taking drug and alcohol outpatient class, and passing all my UAs. I have found a good job at the Port of Tacoma and been working very hard. I don't want this to derail my life and ruin the progress I have made. Please take all this into consideration and allow me to go home with my family. Thank you.
And Mr. Gondo, how are you getting to and from work?
I have my Uber take me to work and from work. Sometimes my mother and my sister are very helpful.
Okay, and are you still consuming THC?
No, sir. I've been clean as of 2021. I take regular UA all the time from my probation officer and I've never had one dirty.
And so I guess you can understand the court's biggest concern is this incident that happened in Pierce County that resulted in a death. Can you talk a little bit about how that has affected you?
It's affected me very much, sir. Taking my license away makes it very hard for me to get to work. And it was a tragic accident that should have never happened. But once again, it was an accident. It wasn't nothing I intended to commit.
You can't get high and drive and then say it's an accident.
Anything further from any of the parties before the court issues a sentence?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Ms. Capone?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so this case is difficult to sentence, obviously, because of the Pierce County matter. Technically, this is a first DUI because it occurred before that one, and that one wasn't an actual DUI conviction. But the facts, as the state has mentioned, are an aggravating circumstance for this case, along with the entire criminal history, including multiple driving with license suspended, traffic offenses. It just shows a risk to public safety through the defendant's behavior that it has the potential to have life and death consequences, and unfortunately already has at one point had deadly consequences. So the court has to weigh those aggravating circumstances against mitigating circumstances, including the defendant's age, the fact that he has been working and has a child to support, and I think has a significant chance for rehabilitation. The court also does take into consideration the fact that the defendant did turn himself into jail when asked to, did show up to court here for this trial to take care of this matter. That shows an improved level of responsibility. The court is a little bit troubled by Mr. Gondo's response talking about the Pierce County case, immediately focusing on having the license taken away and not so much on the death that was caused through that incident. It's disturbing. So the court has to try to fashion a sentence that's going to allow room for rehabilitation while also keeping the public safe. It's not an easy one to do. So the court is going to impose a 180-day jail sentence, but suspend most of that. The court's going to impose a 30-day jail sentence that will not be suspended with credit for time served of the 7 days. So there would be about 23 days remaining on that. After those 30 days are served, the remainder, 150 days, will be suspended in lieu of probation. Defendant will serve a 1-year term of monitored probation. During that probation, the defendant will be ordered to have a substance abuse evaluation, and any follow-up treatment has to be completed. No driving without a license, no BAC above 0.08, and no THC in the system when driving at all. No refusing a breathalyzer or blood test. No new law violations. Defendant will have to pay a $43 criminal conviction fee that will not be waived, and a $60 probation fee that will not be waived. So that's a total of about $103 in fines that will not be waived. Defendant will have to complete a victim panel and has to complete all of those evaluations and victim panel and probation terms by January 1st, 2025. The court will set a return date in January 2025 to show completion of those. There's also a $990.50 mandatory fee that's going to be waived based on indigency. There's also a $250 BAC fee that's going to be waived based on indigency. So the only fines would be the $60 probation fee and the $43 criminal conviction fee. And I'm not going to impose an ignition interlock requirement myself because I don't think there's been any alcohol involved. But Department of Licensing may require that if the defendant pursues trying to get a driver's license. And if so, the defendant would have to comply with that requirement. Just make sure I didn't miss anything.
So
And I
30
think
days
that's
in
everything.
jail.
Mr. Abed, did I cover everything?
And
That covers
probation.
everything, Your Honor, from the state's point of view.
Okay. Ms. Capone, anything further? Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. So I'll get that form filled out with the new JNS, and that completes our sentencing hearing for today. Good luck to you, Mr. Gondo. Please comply with those terms of that probation, and it won't be a problem. If you do violate those terms of probation and I'm sentencing you, I can promise you, you would serve the full 180 days remaining of jail time. It would probably be at least a 30-day jail with any other judge sentencing you for any violations. So the court's goal is that you would rehabilitate yourself and not commit any of those probation violations, and we can put this all behind us in a year or so. So thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And one more thing, Your Honor. I gotta get to work, please, sir.
She's like, shut up. Shut up.
Thank you.
Shut up. You don't keep talking to the judge. You got a sweet deal. You got probation. You got probation, 30 days in jail and probation. I had a hard time that he didn't mention the victims in that other case. I realize that's another case, not this one. He's speaking about this one. But
thank you.
30 days in jail and like 150 days probation, something like that. 120, 150 days probation. And he's still saying, poor me. The judge did say that this was a hard case to rule on because technically it was a first offense, even though after this happened, he committed another offense that was not charged as a DUI. They lessened the charges to something else, and that other offense killed someone. It was a driving while high, and he caused an accident and it killed someone. And now he's being charged for his first offense DUI, even after he's sort of had a second. Tough. Yep. Melanie, I'm taking a look at that one. That's the through the body on the burn pit, on the burn pile one. Is that the one you're talking about? I don't know the details on that. I have to dig a little bit. I know it is starting today. It might be something we're able to jump to. It is already 1 o'clock in the... How did it become lunchtime right now? How did it go so fast? That is crazy. When are we going to break for lunch? I heard that. It was very quiet. Tell you what, I'm going to take a peek at that over lunch. We might jump in on that one and look at it. Looks like we have good camera angles. Want to hear if the audio's good.
I'm going to deal with those in just a second.
It's not bad. It can be worked with. But let's see. There's me. There's that. Okay. So we're going to go to lunch, and then we'll decide what to do this afternoon. Sarah Boone, for those that are curious, that got to get delayed because of Milton. Who's Milton? Not another lawyer. No, Milton is a hurricane, and right now it's a Cat 5, and it's barreling towards Orlando area. Basically, all of the peninsula is going to get slammed by Milton. So we'll see what happens there. So let's go ahead and we'll go to lunch. We're going to get some food. I ate too much candy over the weekend. Making tacos tonight, says Karina. Prayers for all those who are down in Florida, especially those who are struggling to get to places they need to go. Melissa, you and Matthew are in our prayers. I did share the link here to your Give, Send, Go. Put that also out on Twitter if you want to look at that. I appreciate that. Hopefully, all the best to you and yours. It's hard. Red Pen, no, you're not wasting your time. It's just the court case hasn't started yet. I'll take a look. I know you sent me a couple options. I think number 1 was my favorite. I'll have to go look back and look at them. Delayed for how long? Delayed for a week. So jury selection starts next week, which means midweek at the soonest. So a week and a half at the soonest for the trial to actually begin. What time are we coming back? Give me an hour. Is that all right? Just an hour. All right, I think that's it. Tonight, when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone to make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe until we go live again right after lunch. Give us an hour. I've got to get some food in me. The oatmeal I had for breakfast is not enough to keep me going all day long. So we're going to try it again here a little bit. All right, see you guys on the other side. Bye-bye.
Shame on you, sir.
I saw a chicken fight.
I think I'm about to catch a whooping.
I was kicked back, taking it easy.